lining up right in front of our broadcast position here for the national anthem before this match between Western Australia and Tasmania. The gold jumpers of WA with the black swan just on the left-hand side, and the predominantly green jumpers of Tasmania with the yellow map on the middle, with the T right in the middle of the map. Darren Harris, who looked like he was going to miss the team photo earlier until they called him in at the last moment, also looked like he was going to miss the lineup here for the national anthem. He's had to run down and join them now.
Of course, Darren, again, gets the opportunity to continue to build on his record as West Perth Premiership coach, was at West Coast in my time there for quite a while as the forward coach, and was involved in their 2006 Premiership, and then ventured on to Carlton and is now a big part of the leading team. So a quality coach, and I believe we've got two very good coaches. And the word out regarding Gapin at Tassie is that he's in the mould of Brendan Bolton, who is at Carlton, and I believe he's highly sought after, so it'll be interesting to see what happens at the end of the season for Gapin.
Tim Gapin, former Swan District's forward premiership player, one of the runners today for Tasmania as well. That's just picking up a bit of the national anthem in our effects mic. And we're just about ready to go here in the state match. The coaches are going to shake hands with the umpires. Three of the umpires, or two of the field umpires today rather, from Western Australia, Mark Warrabeck and also Nathan Williamson, while from Tasmania, Nick Saltmarsh has come across to officiate. The two captains come together. There's actually two captains for Tasmania, but the one doing the toss is Taylor Whitford. His partner today, Ben Reynolds, has gone back to have a chat with his team. Paul Johnson, the captain of Western Australia, involved in the toss. Mark Warrabeck, the umpire, has flipped the coin, and Tasmania have won the toss. And Jared, they're going to be kicking towards the Bassendean end of Steel Blue Oval, and today there's a little bit of a breeze, most of it going across the ground, but if anything favouring the end, Tasmania will be heading towards in this first term.
Yeah, not too much out there this afternoon, so it looks like a pretty good day for footy at the moment. The blue sky's out, the sun's out, so I don't think there's wet weather forecast this afternoon, so it looks like it's really good conditions for football this afternoon, Dave.
Well, you'd imagine, Dave, Jared, that it'd be really interesting the first few minutes of this game, because I just get a feel, Mitzi, that looking at the physical size of Tasmania, they're going to hit in pretty hard, so it'll be interesting times in the first few minutes of this game.
Absolutely. When they were standing up, I noticed a number of them are very strong in the legs, stocky players, so there's some and probably in Tasmania you get a lot of wet conditions, so you need to be able to play in that type. So it'll be interesting. You're right, that first 5 minutes, are they going to try and hit WA very hard? Already there's some pushing and shoving going on.
Yes, there is, as the players make their way towards their starting positions. WA and Tasmania for the 23rd time meeting here this afternoon. WA lead the head-to-head record 17-5. The last time these two states met was in Kalgoorlie back in 1999, when the West Aussies had a win by 58 points. I think we're expecting a comfortable win for Western Australia. Is that the way you're looking at it, Tony?
Yes, I just think that the big ground and the side that WA have picked will eventually outrun Tasmania.
Mitzi?
Yes, for sure. Kelly, Nelson, Van Berlo starting in the middle for Western Australia. Callanan in the middle for Tasmania.
Morrison, the starting ruckman for the map as well. Jared Morrell here on Sport FM to pick up the broadcast, thanks to City Toyota.
The umpire slams the ball into the turf and we're underway. Paul Johnson wins the tap, but it's straight down to Callanan. He gets a little kick around the body, but a chance for WA to cut it off. Still with the ball though, Tasmania. Kick smothered out there by Pickett. Out on the outer wing at the moment. Plenty of players around the footy. And the umpire comes on in, he blows his whistle, and we'll have our first ball up of the afternoon.
Strike and Pickett both starting off half-back flanks respectively.
Morrison over the top wins the ruck, straight to Clint Jones. He's tackled, the ball stuck in underneath him, and we'll see a ball up for Walker's Lawn and Pest Management. The Western Bulldogs lead by 3 points over Port Adelaide. 31 minutes gone in the final term. Ball tossed in the air, Johnson wins it down, gets a free kick for a bit of a shove in the back, and the WA skipper will get their first kick of the game. Loads it up and kicks towards Cook.
Been a good start by Johnson. He's been good early.
So Ryan Cook, the former Magpie, looks towards the outer side. Not much on offer as yet. Decides to kick for distance towards half forward. Not in best position. Up in front, takes a strong mark. The local boy here, Still Blue Oval, his home ground, kicks long towards the top of the goal square. Darcy Cameron thought he might have just been pulled with the hand. He was.
Mauled.
He was about to take a bit of a leap at that one and just had the hand grab from behind. And a free kick to the Claremont spearhead from directly in front. Should kick the first goal inside the first minute.
Well, he was really mauled then, Mitzi.
He certainly was, yes.
And as you mentioned, Paul Johnson was noticed his first hit out significant, and then that boundary throw, and he just run away and looked like the old Paul Johnson to me.
He's been a great state player for Western Australia over the last couple of years, Johnson. He loves this level.
So Darcy Cameron, the youngest player in the WA squad, kicked 22 goals, 9 for Claremont so far this season. 30 metres out directly in front. He misses. Unusual for Darcy Cameron, normally very reliable in front of goal, but the first score of the game is a behind. Played 2 minutes in the first term for City Toyota.
He poked at that one, Tony. Didn't really kick through it, just tried to poke it, and as a consequence, it went to the right.
Tasmania will move it in through Harry Walters. His kick's a good one, and he spots up a teammate at left half back who wants to move it on by hands, Whitford, and now he gets it back. They look to work it on the outer wing. It's Nankervis. Now they're in a bit of trouble though, the Tasmanians. Plenty of players around the footy. Right half forward for WA. Tries to bustle his way through. There was Hill, couldn't come through. Now Tasmania with a kick to the middle of the ground. Plenty of WA players there. Comes to Callanan. He dodges and weaves a couple of players. Now he gets a handball away to a teammate in Cox. Cox, his kick, it's a good one. And he spots up a teammate who wants to move it quickly to left half forward. Mark couldn't quite be taken by Dodge, and we'll see it over for a boundary throw in at left half forward for Tasmania.
Good passage of play by the Tasmanians then. Started with Callanan, who got out of it, was in some traffic but managed his way out of it, and they used the ball well on the outer side.
For Walker's Lawn and Pest Management, the Western Bulldogs won by 3 points over Port Adelaide, 15-10 to 14-13. Tasmania going forward, Standen with the kick towards the pocket. Dodge had a couple to beat. Couldn't take the mark, but made a bit of a contest. Bootsman's kick's been smothered. It was almost an accidental smother right in the breadbasket of Clinton Riley, and it's out of bounds for a throw-in. 35 metres out, left forward pocket towards the Bassendean end. That's the end Tasmania are attacking in this first term. They trail by a point on the Kennards High scoreboard.
Nick Rodder with the big job on Mitch Thorpe, forward.
So locked inside their forward 50 at the moment. Big chance for Tasmania. Comes down to Clint Jones. He's strongly tackled down there by Mitchell Rainbird, but we'll have another boundary thrown. In fact, it's Pate holding the ball. So Clint Jones, he wants to move it on quickly. Takes a couple of bounces. Good now kick. His kick to half back finds Rodder.
Started on a centre wing, Clint Jones.
Rodder's kick short. Finds Kelly. Kelly wants to chip it short as well. His kick was a dodgy one. It's out of bounds on the full. So Dodge will take the free kick for Tasmania of right half forward.
Like what you did there. Dodgy one to Dodge, and now Dodge into the pocket. It's a good pass, and Callanan, strong in the contest against Bootsma, takes the mark. Right forward pocket, about 25 metres out. It's always a tough place to kick goals from in front of the McDonald's stand. If he was playing against Swans, he'd be getting a mouthful already from.
He certainly would. I think he's a left footer, so that suits, and he's a noted goal kicker, Callanan. There's no doubt about that. He's kicked 20 goals so far in the local competition this year, playing for the Clarence side. So this really for him should be bread and butter.
Of course, former Crow.
Yes, yes, he is, and a very good one too.
Played for South Australia last year against WA. So now we see him stabbing at goal. He's kept it low and he's punched it through. First goal of the game goes to Tasmania. 5 minutes into the first quarter for City Toyota. They're one straight. Western Australia one behind on the Kennards High scoreboard.
Well, little birdie told me about Nick Dodge, that he may be a draftable player, and certainly the skill that he displayed on spearing that ball into Callanan on that occasion, you can understand why.
There's 5 19-year-olds in this Tasmanian side, so and when I looked at this, their statistics, a lot of them at 19 years of age, but played 30 or 40 games in the local competition. So it's good to see these young guys getting to play at that many games at such a tender age.
So 5 minutes gone in this first quarter for City Toyota. It's Tasmania with a 5-point lead, 1 goal straight 6. They lead WA 1 behind on the Kennards High scoreboard. We're back in the middle. Morrison wins the tap down. Now it's the ball in dispute. Won by Nelson. He gets the handball away. Umpires found a free kick. It's going the way of Western Australia. It'll be taken by Bolton. He goes in short inboard. Kitchen marks. In the middle of the ground. Looks to take the man on the mark. Turned him inside out. Now he kicks it towards the top of the 50. He's got a teammate leaning high. And a big mark, I think. Was it taken in the end? The umpire said no by Saunders. So play on. Plenty of players around the footy. And we'll have a ball up.
Free kick.
Almost a big mark taken by Saunders.
Very exciting leap, Gerald.
Given to Tasmania.
Jumped very early and got right up on the shoulders of a player and had some hang time.
Oh, Tassie have turned it over on the way out. Hams with the football. Drifts a hand pass inboard to Riggio. Back to Hams on his left side. Chips short, looking for strike. Too much on it for him. From the spoil, it comes back to Hams. Centre half 40. Hand passes back to Riggio. This time it's used better. A nice low pass, and diving in to take the mark is Bolton. The Victorian playing for Western Australia, having transferred from Werribee in the off-season.
Good testing.
He won't shoot for goal. He chips it over the top of the man on the mark, and Kitchen was standing right behind him. Still might also be tested for distance into this slight breeze.
Well, just looking at Tasmania's team defence, it's they've held a very, very good structure for a team who haven't spent a lot of time together.
He's kicked 3 goals, 1 for Subiaco this year, a premiership player from last year. He kicked into the man on the mark. It rebounds towards the forward pocket. Tasmania with a chance to rebound. Through a set of hands, Walters gets it on. Now a chance for Arnold, dragged to ground and a good tackle by Hams, knocking it towards the boundary for a bit of safety's dodge, and it's a boundary throw in at left half forward here for Western Australia. They haven't kicked a goal yet, and we've played 7.5 minutes in the first team. They're one behind. Tasmania 1 straight on the Kennards High scoreboard.
Yeah, good start by Tasmania. They're pushing hard.
WA still searching for their first goal. Morrison won the tap in front. Nelson's there, as is Kelly. Kelly couldn't get a clean handball out. Now players will pile on in. We'll have a ball up. No, it's eventually scooped out. Neitz is in and under. He can't get it out either. Hams applying a tackle.
As we predicted, Mitzi, Tassie have bogged the game down. There's a lot of stoppages, a lot of players around the footy, which is suiting their style of play at the moment.
Johnson wins the tap. It was too hot for Hams. Bolton had it for a moment, then lost it. Neitz was in there. Now Tasmania look to run it out of their back line. A kick open into space on the broadcast wing. WA got numbers in space. Handball out to Pickin. He gets it away to Johnson. He couldn't pick it up cleanly. Van Berlo the handball over the top of Hams. He gets it on the second go. Now to Nelson. Nelson's kick out in front of a couple of teammates. It was too hot. Bounce over the top of the head of Saunders. Now Tasmania, they look to mop it up off the half back line. Handball over the top of the head of Walters. Now turned over. Bootsma. His kick's a good one in front of Peak. He takes it on the chest. 45 metres out on about a 45-degree angle.
Wonderful kick by Bootsma. As a really penetrating kick, and that time good lead by Peak too. Ran hard into space, and Bootsma hit him right on the chest as he didn't have to really move hard other than in that light direction he was moving. Excellent kick by Bootsma.
So the experienced Brett Peak, can he capitalise? He kicks it from 45 metres out. He struck it beautifully. It's straight through the middle. WA get their first goal of the day. They move to 1 goal, 1-7. Tasmania 1 goal straight 6. That's all on the Kennards High scoreboard. Approaching 10 minutes played in this first quarter for City Toyota.
Well, excellent play by Bootsma there, Mitzi, as you mentioned, and it's interesting to note that Bootsma's playing on Callanan. Noticed that match-up after Callanan kicked the first goal, and to be honest, I thought that may be a bit of a concern, but maybe that's the strategy, that Bootsma gets up high and runs off. And the one thing we know is that he's an extremely dangerous player when he's got ball in hand. He absolutely speared that kick into Peak, who is, I think, still currently leading the goal kicking in the waffle competition.
Playing his first state game, Brett Peak, his dad, what a famous state player he was back in the day of State of Origin football, was an absolute superstar. And now Brett Peak with the first goal of the game for Western Australia. In at the centre bounce, sliding in Rainbird for Tasmania, can't get the ball out. It's a tough pack to win this footy from. Hand pass comes out from Van Berlo for WA, back to Johnson and off to Strike, and he kicks wide. They've spread well here, the West. Taken by Bolton, 2 kicks from goal, stabs it in low, it's not well directed, and Harry Walters sneaks in front to take the mark. One of a few Tasmanians that has a little headband on today. Probably just keeps him a bit warm over there, Mitzi,
Yep.
Longer hair.
He's got a good kick. I watched him in practice.
Well, Rainbird's jumped early and he's judged it okay. Takes the mark on the way down, chips it in short, hits the target here. It's Thorpe who spins around and then kicks towards centre half forward and uses it very well. The mark has been taken by Dylan Riley. He's got a runner running into a better position, chips nicely, and Lockhart takes the mark. 35 out directly in front, and Tasmania built that attacking move very nicely.
Well, all started from down back as a penetrating kick by Walters, and then just good use of the footy, Tony. They ran hard into space and an opportunity to kick their second goal.
Jay Lockhart, his first possession of the match from North Launceston to give Tasmania the lead once more. The 12-minute mark of the first term for City Toyota. A little stutter in his run-up as he sends this goalward. He's hooked it. Starts to swing back a little bit. He's missed. So scores a level on the Kennards Hire scoreboard. 1-1 apiece in this first term.
Excellent play by Tassie on that occasion, bringing the ball out of defence. And the player that linked it up was Mitch Rainbird, who took an excellent mark.
Bootsma brings it back into play. Tim Kelly roams it off hands, and he now snaps inboard, looking for Jai Bolton. And he takes a strong mark to Jai Bolton on the chest.
He started promising, Bolton.
Bolton, he wants to go into the middle of the ground. A bit of a dangerous kick, but it was well weighted and finds Jones. Jones has got Cook in a bit of space on the broadcast wing. Thought about getting the hands over the top, and then elected not to. Now he goes longer, peeks down there as his black flew over the top of his head. Handball by Nelson, up and under, not to really anyone. High tackle by Shane Nelson, and Tasmania get the free kick at right half back. And it will be Dylan Riley to take it.
So Tassie started well, holding their own in the early stages. Kicks to a big pack on the wing. Bootsman with the run and the jump. Good spoil down to Meadows. His hand pass puts Neats under immediate pressure. Tackled and brought to ground. Ball stuck in under for a moment. Clint Riley wants to work his way out of the pack. Pickett gets his head over the football, and he's going to give away a free kick for contact beneath the knees. It's always a tough call, that one. So the free kick goes to Mott. He wants to switch to the outer side. Uses it well with the left boot. Harry Walters right on the back edge of the centre square. Kicks to the wing. They've got a player breaking out wide. It's Hayden. Waits for the bounce. Ducks back onto his right boot. Kicks long stand and runs in. Doesn't quite make a contest there. Bootsma does well. Gets a hand pass away to Stephen. Back to Bootsma, off to Knott, and then back to Stephen once more. A lot of Black Swan jumpers just waiting to run this out of defence. Meadows, a long kick towards right half forward at full stretch. Peake takes the mark in front of the can bar. Gets a cheer from there for one of the first times. His hand pass inboard is ordinary. Cook gets clean bowled by it. In comes Harry Walters. Sockers it away to his own advantage. Follows up now. Over the top, Clint Riley comes in once more. Van Berlo, though, dispossesses him. Hand pass away to Cook. Cook gives a hand pass out wide. Running pass down the boundary line is Strike. It's a good long kick to the goal square. Neats has interfered with his opponents, getting into his back as he tried to take a fly for the mark, and the free kick will go the way of Arnold to Tasmania in his defensive goal square. Scores still level at 7 apiece after 14 minutes for City Toyota in the first term.
Well, it's a good game of footy at the moment, and guess why, boys? There's one thing that we haven't mentioned at the moment is both sides are holding their forward lines. Consequently, haven't got 36 players in one half of the ground.
Whitford goes in short. Callanan marks. He wants to move it on quickly. He's got a teammate who worked out his opponent well in Nankervis. Now a handball inboard by Cox. Cox, he gets it to Thorpe. Thorpe, his kick was a poor one. It's turned over. Pickett to Black. Black in the middle of the ground. Cook. Cook dropped the chest mark he should have taken. Gets it away to Jones, though. Jones swings around on the left. His kick, Kelly, but further over the top and takes a good mark on the juggler. Has been paid in the end by Saunders. 55 metres out from goal. At left half forward.
Pickett been busy off half back, as has been Saunders.
He's gone over the mark.
No, I think the Tasmanian just jogging past. It was Foon on the way through. Got into that protected area. Makes it a certain goal.
So he's going to be waltzed to the goal square as Ben Saunders. He will kick WA's second goal of the afternoon. All things going well. Saunders wants to take his time, do up his sock, and make sure that this one is a major for Western Australia. Straight through the middle from point blank range. WA moved to 2 goals, 1-13. They lead Tasmania by 1 straight kick, 1-1-7. 15 minutes played in this first quarter for City Toyota. That's all on the Kennards Hire scoreboard.
Well, they're starting to get some good midfield presence, Western Australia. Cook's getting a bit of the ball, as has Bolton, and Kelly's been very good as well. So if they can take control through that area as the game progresses, you'd think they'd really give themselves plenty of opportunities up forward. But to Tasmanians' credit, they have played pretty well in this first 15 minutes. Callanan's been good. Harry Walters across that half back line's been strong, and generally their ball movement hasn't been too bad.
Also been noticeable, Mitzi, that Pickett's getting a bit of ball off half back, and since then they've dragged him back to full back.
So back in the centre bounce, Callanan tries to emerge with the football instead. Johnson does, gets a hand pass away. Can't hit a target as he searched there for Nelson, and now Nelson for the second time has given away a free kick In the tackle, Morrison is the recipient. Gives the hand pass away. The running going past is Cox. Off to Harry Walters, who's been busy early. A long kick from the wing towards full forward. 3 Tasmanians down there. No one can take the mark. Through comes Harper, standing strong in the tackle. Gets a hand pass away. They're building again here, Tasmania. Flying shot on goal from Hayden was smothered. And the Black Swans run it out of defence again. Clint Jones always loves to dash with the footy. Doesn't always use it the best. And this is a wide kick. Looking for Darcy Cameron. He's beaten to the ball by Cleary, who soccers off the deck. Gets it inside 50. Tony Nutcutt, or Hill, I think at this time it was. Strong play off to Johnson. But Johnson blazing away has turned it over. And Mott takes the mark on the wing.
Mott, he's got a teammate free in the middle of the ground who he sees well. And takes the mark. It is Walters. That is Nick Walters. Nick Walters' kick out in front of Batchelor. Batchelor couldn't get there first, and it's seen over the line. Left half forward Tasmania will have a boundary throw-in.
But isn't it good to watch footy with both sides holding their forward line? The ball has been toing and froing. It's been a good spectacle, very even ball game at the moment, and it's a credit to both coaches.
Darcy Cameron in the ruck, wins it down to Hands, who shrugs a tackle, hand pass to Nelson, off to Black, and then he releases Kelly with a bit of dash, kicks down the wing, searching for and finding Riggio. Another one of the locals from Swan Districts, playing on his home deck this afternoon. Mark's on the wing. Good crowd building on that outer side as well.
Yes.
Riggio chips over the man on the mark. It's not a great kick, but it bounces nicely for Bolton, who hand passes back to Riggio. Looks to chip again. Searching for Cook. It's very wide. He soccers off the ground, but it had already gone out of bounds right beneath the can bar, and there's always plenty of fans in that area of Steel Blue Oval. Western Australia by 6 points close to time on.
Done the can bar up, though.
Yeah,
There's a bit of luxury over there at the moment.
The scoreboard's been done up as well.
Cameron almost taken out of the ruck by Morrison. Callanan gets the handball away just in time to a teammate in Lockhart. Now he's under a bit of pressure though. Plenty of WA players around the football in the middle of the ground. Umpire blows his whistle, will have a ball up.
Certainly been plucky, Mitzi, Tasmania.
They have. What I've liked about some of their players, they're very skillful. Mott off that left foot, Walters with some real penetration from the half back. So, you know, there's something to like about this Tasmanian side at the moment.
Ham's at the bottom of the pack. The umpire blows his whistle and he'll ball it up once again. Johnson and Morrison competes. Morrison uses his body well, but it goes forward for Tasmania to the outer wing. Couple of players in pursuit of the ball. Morrison is there. Now they get it away to a teammate in Foon. Foon, he elects to go further backwards. Hayden marks the left back pocket. He chips short. Goes back to Foon.
57 kilos, Foon. Jared, he's only a very slight guy.
Foon to the last line of defence. Hayden marks, just chipping it around, maintaining possession at the moment. Tasmania, they've turned it over though now. Riggio, he gets a handball backwards. And it's kicked towards the goal line. Johnson, he takes the mark. He juggles it with one hand. Paul Johnson out-muscled his opponent beautifully on the goal line. And an opportunity for him to kick his first goal of the day.
You got the sense, Tony, from the very first bounce that Johnson was going to have a good day today. He's really worked hard. He loves the being the skipper of this side, and that was an excellent contested mark.
Oh, he's gone the banana around the body, Paul Johnson. He's done it beautifully as well. He kicks the goal. WA moved to 3 goals, 1-19. They lead Tasmania 1-1 straight, 7. And 20 minutes gone in this first quarter now for City Toyota.
Well, completely different Paul Johnson, as you mentioned, Mitzi. Just looking at his attitude and the way he's going about his game today, and from that very first hit out, and something that he's not really renowned for is going forward and taking a contested mark. Certainly good on the hit up and leading, but took a very, very strong mark. And quite frankly, at the moment, he looks like a dominant figure out on the footy field at the moment. It'll be interesting to see how WA go now. Johnson's come off for his first rest, and as predicted, Cameron's gone into the ruck.
Be taking on Morrison, who's prowling around the centre circles. It's not a great bounce. Goes straight to Morrison. The umpire says that's okay. Morrison wins it down. Crashing through is Foon. He's well tackled. And the ball is held in. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a misprint. Mitzi, he doesn't look 57 kilos.
He looks a lot heavier than 57 kilos, you're right, Dave. He's probably about 70 odd.
His girlfriend probably does that sort of thing with her weight as well, does she? Knocks a few kilos off. That's 57 kilos, gee. He might have only had 1 foot on the scale, I think.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't look 57.
So the ball up. In the middle, Morrison wins it down, and Tasmania combine well. A good kick out wide coming from one of their skippers in Whitford, co-captains, but it hasn't found a target. Neats takes it, a hand pass off to Clint Jones. Kicks towards half forward. Great use of the body and a good mark taken by Cleary, opposed to Tony Knott. Comes inboard, it's a dangerous kick, puts Mott under pressure, he doesn't pick it up, Peake does, snaps towards the open goal square, not a kind bounce though, and getting back is the other co-captain in Reynolds to rush it through. He'll move it back in very quickly. It's 3-2 to 1-1 on the Kennards High scoreboard.
Well, as we've seen, absolutely kills you those turnovers from coming out of defence.
Harry Walters, he kicks short, spots up a teammate in Harper. Harper at left half back for Tasmania. Just takes his time. Waits for teammates to present. Now he's forced to go long down the line. His kick in the direction of Morrison. Couldn't take the mark. Now WA through Hams. Throws it back to Cameron. Cameron, quick kick, and it's marked by Bolton. He marks, wants to move it on quickly. Kicks to the top of the goal square. Saunders is down there, but great fist from the side by Reynolds. And we'll see it for a boundary throw in at right half forward, right in the right forward pocket rather for WA.
Well, their two key defenders, Cleary and Reynolds, are very good. They've played pretty solidly so far.
Black Swans. Sorry, Mitzi.
Sorry, mate. No, go ahead.
Black Swans by 13 points. Tony Knott up in the ruck nicely, palms it to the back, but there were no Black Swans waiting there. Cox was for Tasmania. A hand pass to Harry Walters. Off towards a teammate there in Siggins, or Harper in fact. But Tassie have turned it over on the way out. Mark taken by Meadows. Kicks into the centre of Stillblue Oval. Neats has the footy. Tasmania pushing plenty of numbers back now as Neats goes short and finds Heel. Heel will chip it to centre half forward. Good use. Breaks the zone open. Nelson with the mark. His hand pass puts Kitchen under pressure. Ducks under a tackler. Hand pass off to Hams. Back off to the runner in strike. He's got a good long right boot on him. He bangs it long, but just away to the right. And through from behind. 3-3 to 1-3. Kennards High scoreboard.
Just signs, Mitzi, starting to creep into this game that WA's run is now starting to get well on top of Tasmania.
Nick Walters to bring it back in for Tassie. And he kicks to left half back. Long kick, but it's taken by Cameron opposed to Morrison. Cameron thought about giving the handball away to strike with that lethal boot, but it's a beautiful kick. Finds a teammate out on the lead in Saunders, who marks 45 metres out from goal.
Look lively, Mitzi, Saunders.
Yes, he is a very lively forward. Loves to go for the big flyer, but also excellent at timing his leads. And on that occasion, he was probably 5 metres in front of his opponent.
Saunders going for goal number 2 in this game this afternoon. He's bound to be one of the key targets this afternoon for WA. The kick, he struck it all right off the boot, but it was well right, out of bounds on the full.
Well, Tasmania rotating heavily at the moment. They're interchange box underneath us, and they're really turning their players over.
So Cox with the free kick across the face of goal. And finds Cleary, who's up against the right-hand behind post. He wanted to switch again, decides to hand pass instead to Foon. And then Foon chips short, just gets to Rainbird. Marks just short of centre half back. Goes for a dash and kicks to this broadcast side wing. It's good use and finds Dodge, who marks and plays on quickly. Solid contest from Heel, and the umpire says that was late. So a relayed free kick. It'll come back, and Batchelor will take it at right half forward.
My word, Rainbird certainly has quality skills. He's used the ball very elitely on a couple of occasions.
He's one of those 19-year-olds in the side, Tony, so a lot of talent for a young fella.
Batchelor short with his pass and gets it to Cox. And the left footer has it. Plenty back in a zone here for Western Australia, so he doesn't go that far. He goes back to Foon, who's on the centre line here for Tassie. They trail by 14.
He's maintaining possession at the moment for Tasmania. Short kick as well, in trouble 15. Foon gets it back, goes sideways. Whitford marks. And the bright red boots now is forced to play on. Cook applies the pressure, goes short and backwards, and the mark taken by a teammate as well in Harper. Gets it back to Whitford. Whitford's kick to Walters. Nick Walters, that is. He looks to make the switch now and open up a bit of space on the outer side. Here's Walters. Harry Walters, he kicks towards the top of the goal square. Johnson with the fist. Working down hard there is Rainbird. And he couldn't get rid of it in time. The umpire blows his whistle. We'll have a ball up 20 metres out from the Tassie goal. I've got it locked inside their 50 at the moment. Van Berlo emerges from the pack very nicely with it. He's kicked. Cameron gets it on the juggle. The third go. He gets away to Black, who's slammed to the ground. He was taken high, though. Aaron Black will take the free kick at right half back.
Sandover medalist of a couple of years ago kicks back to Cameron, who takes a good mark. He had the height advantage and made full use of it.
He's taken 3 good marks now, Darcy Cameron.
It's a very good crowd building up on that outer side as well. Crowd of 2,500 to 3,000, I would think. Kicks to the wing and finds his Claremont teammate in Neats. Hand pass away to Clint Jones, who kicks in the middle. Important ball here. Meadows is interfered with. Free kick is paid, an advantage as well. Stephen goes short. He's missed Cook. And Tassie should be able to run it out of defence. I think they've missed Cook 2 or 3 times in this first quarter. The West Aussies. Cox under pressure. Sockers it away, but straight to Meadows. Meadows' hand pass goes to ground. Gets it away, though, towards Van Berlo. And West Australia work this well. Stephen, a good pass. And Tim Kelly all alone directly in front, 35 metres out, and have a shot here at the eastern end.
Yeah, good work again by Western Australia. Got numbers around the footy and just had a release player. And it was Stephen hitting Kelly on the chest. So Tim Kelly been in very good form for the Bulldogs this year. Opportunity for WA's 4th goal. Right on the side.
Have to have a shot after the siren now. A state debutant. There's a few out there for WA this afternoon. South Fremantle live wire from directly in front. Sets it out to the left. It starts to swing to the right and he snuck it through. So a nice way to finish the first quarter for WA. It took them a little while, but they've eventually worked their way on top in this contest. And the Black Swans run from everywhere to congratulate Tim Kelly, who kicks his first goal. 4-3-27 to 1-1-7 on the Kennards Hire scoreboard.
Opportunities going forward. They've used the ball pretty well. They have some very skillful players in their side. I thought that players like Dodge and Rainbird, certainly when he's had the footy in his hands, look dangerous. And also Joby Harper's been getting a lot of the ball as well. So they've put up a pretty good show, but you could see as the game wore on in that first quarter that WA midfield really started to take control. I was really impressed with the way Paul Johnson started the game. I just reckon his presence on the ground has been good. Every time there's been a stoppage, Johnson's really looked imposing, and their midfield with Kelly and Bolton and Cook and Jones across the middle. Nelson's got a lot of the ball as well. They started to really take control in that middle part of the quarter, and as the quarter wore on, and they did look dangerous with Saunders leading well and Peake being dangerous, kicking the first goal for Western Australia.
Yeah, terrific start to the game, Mitzi, and as you mentioned it, for mine, as we predicted at the start of the game, Tassie were really plucky. They hit in really hard. There were a number of stoppages which probably suited them, but what it did do, it allowed Paul Johnson to assert his authority on this game, and even when Paul Johnson went off the ball, Darcy Cameron came on and had an influence late in that quarter as well. So they've had a terrific contribution from their midfield, and all of a sudden we started to see WA's half back line, particularly the likes of Pickett, coming out of that area and setting up attacks, and we saw Ashton Hams come on the ground, and as we know, he plays that defensive half and started to set WA, and there's just some, I hope I'm wrong, there's just some ominous signs with this bigger ground, and towards the back end of that quarter I saw a number of players rotating off the ground from Tasmania, and even a lot of them blowing pretty hard when they came off the ground, so hopefully that's not the case. It's been great to see both coaches employ the strategy of holding their forward line. It's led to seeing some attractive footy. The ball's been moved pretty quickly, going either ends of the ground. Tasmania have set up a good structure defensively, but also they've got to really now start to attack the game, move it quickly, be bold, go through the corridor and try and reverse it on WA. We've also seen the situation where it's so critical in terms of using the ball coming out of defences and hitting up your forwards when you're going inside.
Second quarter, Jared Murrell will pick up the commentary. WA by 20 points.
Johnson straight down at Bolton. His kick was smothered though. Tasmania have it through Harper. Gets a handball away. Kick in a dangerous position. Good spoil over the top though by Meadows. And it creeps over the boundary line. We'll have a boundary throw in it. Left half forward for Tasmania.
Again, a good start by Tassie, and I'd expect it to be that case again, Mitzi, but I reckon it's the back half of the quarters that may be their concern.
WA with a 20-point lead. Hit over the top to Whitford. Whitford's kick, and it's a good ball. Almost found Dodge, couldn't take the mark. Bring it in with the one hand now. Bootsma with the clearing kick for WA. Neats and Harry Walters both in pursuit. Neats slid in, grabbed the ball, got it on the second go, did very well. Gets it back to Bolton through hands to Kitchen. Kitchen's handball to Clint Jones. He's trying to evade a Tassie player over there. Does in the end, gets it back to Kitchen. Kitchen's handball back to Bolton. Bolton elects to go backwards and Bootsma marks. Now Bootsma, he looks to make the switch. A very good kick into the middle of the ground. Johnson marks, handballs backwards to Hams. Hams got a teammate running free in Rodder, who's got plenty of space on the broadcast wing. His kick goes out in front of Peake. Used his body well. Now he's got an opportunity at ground level. Handballs it back inboard to Knott. Knott centres it towards the top of the goal square. Cameron's down there, but it's just gone over the boundary line, out of bounds on the full. Tasmania to take it on the last line of defence.
Noticeable, Tony, not starting in the true centre-half forward position.
Yes.
Mitzi, from all accounts, I believe early selection was leading to the fact that he was going to play centre-half back, but that hasn't transpired. He's given them a target up forward.
Such a versatile footballer, Tony Knott. Cleary with the kick, searching for Morrison, who drops a mark he probably should have taken. Now they've got problems. Saunders has it 45 out on the boundary. Left foot kick to the goal square. Cameron works his way to the front, can't quite hang on. And Tasmania do okay. A free kick. Player legged, I think it's Harry Walters.
He's been very good for Tasmania. Harry Walters, a very experienced and solid defender.
They switch play to the broadcast side. Lockhart has it in front of the McDonald stand. 50 metres out from the goal he's defending. Kicks with the left boot, and Harper marks at left half back. Looks inboard. Kicks in that direction. Too much carry on the kick. Oh, Bolton almost had an open goal if he could pick that one up. Crashing in now is Foon. He's over the top, tackling Jones. I think it is at the bottom of the pack.
By gee, they've been really risky bringing that ball back into the corridor, Tassie, and they've missed a couple of targets, and early in that first quarter, on occasions, it's cost them goals.
So ball up, 50 metres out from goal. Van Berlo handballs backwards to Bolton. Kitchen's got it 55 metres out from goal. His kick around the body. Cameron, did he have it for long enough at the top of the goal square? Umpire said no. Now not at ground level in the right forward pocket. He dropped it. Saunders, hot footy down there. Kelly's in there. Plenty of players around the footy. Will have a ball up 45 metres out from WA's goal at right half forward. Umpire quick to toss it up. Johnson almost unopposed. Bolton grabbed it straight away. Gets a little kick. Now Callanan with a clearing kick for Tasmania. Up and under. Paul Johnson. He's got the size. He couldn't take the mark. Jones at ground level. Gets it away to Kelly. Now a big kick by Strike towards the top of the goal square. Cameron almost couldn't take the mark. Picked up by Neats, and he kicks a goal. It was touch though on the last line of defence for Tasmania.
Morrison.
So just the minor score. And WA, they move to 4 goals, 4-28. Tasmania 1-1-7. And we're about 5 minutes gone in this second quarter for Kevrick, Australia.
Well, very fortunate, Tassie. I thought that was a mark for Cameron, and they got away with that one.
Chipping it around the defensive end, which has been fraught with danger at times this afternoon. Short pass here to Cox, who's told to play on and uses it well. Keeps to centre half back. Mott takes the mark, wants to draw the man, now decides to chip over the top, and Callanan marks on the wing. Beneath our broadcast position, the former Crow uses it nicely, puts it out in front of the player who dives in and takes a good mark in Dodge. He's at left half forward, swings onto the right boot. Well, he's gone very wide with his kick. Will it just stay in? It touches the turf just inside the boundary line. And Thorpe has a look back at him and says, surely you could have just chipped one over the top to me. Boundary throw in 45 out left forward pocket. Good voice of the Tasmania coaching staff in the box next to us. Johnson wins the tap to the front to Bolton. Bolton hand passes away to Meadows. Hooks the kick a bit. It favours Tasmania, but overrunning it there. Tasmania have missed an opportunity through Hayden. Solid bump on Nelson. He's been put out of business for the moment. Nick Walters picks up for Tassie. Kicks across half forward. Good pick up from Batchelor. Goes one way then the other. Gets a hand pass away to Mott. Centre half forward. He kicks high to the top of the goal square. Big contest coming. Strike standing in front. Does well. Brings it to ground. Johnson playing the role of the rover. And doesn't he use it well, setting up Neats on the outer wing.
Neats, he's got space as well if he can gather on the bounce. He does, and he's got a teammate over the top in Nelson. Nelson, he's got a couple of options. He can go himself if he wants. He runs to 48 metres out. Cameron's down there. Can he keep it in? It bounces and hits the post.
Oh, sensational effort then by Nelson after getting a real heavy knock that would have winded him, and he's virtually run the length of the ground. Unfortunately, he probably could have weighted his kick a little better, the Cameron to finish off that brilliant piece of play.
Yeah, probably Darcy Cameron probably should have just given him a bit of a lead. I think he could have. Nelson was always going to struggle to kick that goal, but as you said, great work by him.
So WA 4-5, Tasmania 1-1. Tassie have brought the ball back into play pretty quickly. Harper has it at half back, a high kick, but straight down the throat of Cook. And Ryan Cook marks. Gives a hand pass off to Bootsma. His kicking's been a feature of his game already today. This one's a good one. Saunders on the lead. Couldn't mark, but staying down is Peake, who can run in and kick the easiest of goals. Brett Peake has a couple. And WA have the first of the second term. It's taken 6 minutes in this second quarter on the Kennards Hire scoreboard. WA 5-5-35, Tasmania 1-1-7.
And it's great to see the penetration of kicking by Bootsma. He's probably touched the ball 4 or 5 times, but when he gets it, there's 50 metres in penetration, and that time he kicked it to a hot spot. Peake was in the right position on the ground and was able to run in and kick an easy goal once the ball spilt to the turf.
Well, from right deep in defence, Mitzi, we saw him come off in the first quarter and hit Peake up to kick a goal, and then even on that occasion then he's run from deep again, and just his penetration has put it in a dangerous position, and WA have certainly capitalised.
So a 28-point lead for WA now. They've got all the momentum and they win it out of the middle as well. Bolton with a torpedo inside 50. Saunders was pushed off it. Knott's there at ground level. He collects, kick, inboard. Cameron in the goal square trying to outmuscle his opponent. He's doing pretty well down there. He struggles hard, and in the end, Kelly running into an open goal, and he kicks it straight into the post.
Just a little casual then, Kelly.
Yeah.
Tasmanian bring it in quickly. WA 5-6 to 1-1 as the Tasmanians looking to dash it out of defence. One of the skippers in Whitford kicks to half back, not well directed. Pickett, brilliant, gathers 60 out, kicks to the goal square, all alone. Cameron, he can stroll in and kick it as far as he likes. He just decides to bang it into the fence, and it's another one for WA. So Darcy Cameron is on the board. Missed an easy one early, but he's got his first goal in state colours, and WA have stamped their authority on this game of footy. 6-6-42 to Tasmania 1-1-7. We played 8 minutes in the second term.
Yeah, starting to look pretty ominous for Tasmania now. WA really hitting their straps. And what's been really impressive, Tony, is just this great long kicking by the West Australian side.
Have been outstanding, haven't they?
It has been fantastic, and you've always said it's a simple game. Kick it down to your forwards, give them an opportunity. That time the defender was out of position. Cameron was all on his own and was able just to stroll in and kick a very easy
Even
goal.
just looking at Pickett's ball use then, Mitzi, and as you mentioned earlier, Bootsma has been outstanding. Even Paul Johnson when he came out of defence.
Yeah.
It's been very, very efficient.
Siggins has been moved into the ruck for Tasmania. Johnson wins it though down to Hams. He'll get it back via hands with Johnson. Had it for a moment,
Good
then he
second
lost
effort.
it. Gets it out to Kitchen. Hams again, through hands to Bolton. Bolton gets it away to Black. Black, short kick. And he spots up a teammate in Pickett. Pickett on the outer wing. His kick towards the top of the 50. Chopped up though by Mott. Mott's tackled by Nelson. He shrugged him off nicely though. Mott's little kick around the body. Foon marks it left half back. Got a teammate over the top. That's where it goes. And Harry Walters marks, who's been very busy for Tasmania this afternoon. No doubt one of their better players. His kick down the line. Too hot for Dodge. Now ground level. Mott comes back in. He's tackled by Johnson. A boundary throw in on this broadcast side. It is WA who've got a big lead at the moment. 35 points is the margin in their favour. 10 minutes played in this second quarter for Kevrick, Australia.
Won't ask Mitchie who his best players are so far, Jared. He's watching intently, one of the men voting on the Simpson medal, but gee, there's a couple of WA players who are taking control of this match. The ball back over the boundary for a throw-in.
He's quite serious today, David.
Well, he got it right last year.
He's got that responsibility of the Simpson medalist, Bitsy.
See, last year it was easy, Tony, because Ryan Davis was a superstar with 5 goals. Today, the goals are being spread a little bit.
He's got the serious head on, good to see.
Johnson in the ruck, he's been outstanding. He's one on Mitzi's page, I'm sure. Roving his Kitchen, who kicks into the middle. That's good use of the body, working his way to the front. Nick Walters takes a good mark. Kicks to the outer side. Oh, Dylan Riley. Could have been cleaned up by Pickett, but he spared him. Dylan Riley takes the mark. Chips wide to Rainbird on the outer wing. Stops and props and decides to come back inboard. Kicks it low to Nankervis. Nankervis on the centre line. Dangerous kick into the middle. Might be turned over. Clint Riley had a go but missed the footy. Kitchen didn't for WA. Kicks to Cameron. He's one out. Uses the body well. Gets rid of his opponent. What's his recovery like? It's okay, the big fella. 40 out. He gathers. Hand pass off to Saunders. Oh, a fickle bounce for Saunders. Has to go back and get it. He does just that. 35 out. Snaps on goal. It's offline. Attempted mark by Nelson, but I reckon his second grab was over the line, and that's the way the umpire saw it. Through for a behind. 6-7. Plays 1-1. Kennards High School.
I reckon what's been really impressive with Cameron today is the way he's used his body, Mitzi, in those one-on-one contests. I haven't seen that before, and that's a great trait to be able to build into your game.
Boone's kick at right half back was a penetrating one. Walters marks. That's Nick Walters. At right half back for Tasmania. His kick and up and under one down the line. And plenty of WA players there, including a tall one in Darcy Cameron who marks with ease.
50.
Umpires found a free kick.
It's a 50 for going in that protected area again, I think. Mark Warrabeck, the umpire, the second time he's pulled that one out today.
Oh, gee, he's everywhere at the moment.
Having
Cameron.
a good quarter, Cameron.
He was in the goal square 2 seconds ago.
Is he on his list over there?
Oh, he's making a lot of notes, the Mitzi, so he's going to have a tough task, I think, in picking the best player for today. But
it's been a pretty even performance by Western Australia so far.
Keeping his cards very close to
It's
his
very
chest.
even. It's good footy.
So he's setting himself up for goal here is Darcy Cameron, looking for goal number 2 for the afternoon. His performance has been a highlight in this second quarter. He's played very well on his opponent, looked extremely dangerous. He'll kick from 48 metres out.
Oh, beautiful kick.
And it's a great kick. Looked like it was going to the left-hand side, worked its way back, and it's a goal. WA moved to 7-7-49, Tasmania 1-1-7. 13 minutes played in this second quarter for Kevrick Australia. That's all on the Kennards High scoreboard.
don't want to be arrogant, Mitzi, but we mentioned this is an important game for his future today. I reckon he's already done enough.
Yeah, he's done well, done very well. Probably needs to put a few more kilos on for the next level, but certainly he's taken some good contested marks. And as you said, used his body well in one-on-one situations. They're getting a lot out of Bolton in the middle and Hams, and certainly their defence with the penetration of players like Bootsma and Pickett, and you got Meadows down there as well. So, they're starting to look good, Western Australia.
Well, both Shane Yarrant and also Ryan Davis were very impressive on this day last year and ended up on AFL lists at the end of the season. You can almost guarantee there'll be a couple that come out of this as well. Jai Bolton's been outstanding today. Cops a high one, gets a free kick at centre half forward.
Strong body, Bolton.
He's very good, being very good in and under. He gets a lot of the ball in the congestion.
This is his 15th possession. The former Victorian kicks out in front of Peake.
Beautiful kick.
Great kick. Just allowed Peake to run onto it and he wraps it up on his chest. Now he's a very long kick on the run here, Brett Peake. Andrew Strike is circling around the back here for a hand pass as well. But Peake will have a shot. He'll need to kick it just over 50 metres.
Well, already kicked 2, lining up for his third, but what's significant is Tasmania need to get on top in the middle of the ground.
51 out. Doesn't strike it perfectly. It goes right to the line. Big fly on the line from Tony Knight. It comes off hands. Through for behind. WA is 7-8-50. Tasmania 1-1-7. We're midway through the second quarter for Keverick.
Tasmania quick to bring it back in. Nick Walters marks in the right back pocket. His kick to pull one over the top of the head of his teammate, and plenty of WA players back there to mop up. Bolton's kick inboard. Meadows dropped the mark he should have taken. Hams fends off a tackle, gets it back to Jones. Jones via Hanston Neats. Neats chip kick, looking for Knott. It was too short for him, collected on the bounce. Now Tasmania looked to mop it up through Whitford. He gets it to a teammate who was tackled immediately, just ducks. Van Burlow, kick into a dangerous position. Saunders couldn't quite take the mark. Harry Walters sold the dummy. Now he gets it back to a teammate in Cox. Cox's kick on the bounce, it's a dangerous one. Here's Marlon Pickett, 48 metres out. Handball in ball to Hams, and Hams, he makes Tasmania pay. Ashton Hams gets his first goal of the afternoon. He's been another player that's seen plenty of it this afternoon for the Sandgropers. And WA now, they move to 8 goals, 8-56. Tasmania 1-1-7. 15 minutes played in this second quarter for Keverick Australia. That's all on the Kennards High scoreboard.
Well, look, it's just excellent play by WA. They're just putting pressure on the Tasmanian ball carrier. Once the ball hits the ground in a spillage, Western Australia have got the numbers around the footy and they're able to win the ball, and then there's someone loose on the release and on that occasion it was Hams, and he was able to stroll in and kick a very good goal. Tasmania are getting a bit of the ball, but they're just finding it hard to go past the centre.
Sorry, Mitch, I'm going to jump in and contradict you there. Sorry, partner. 43 more possessions they've had than them. I reckon Tassie just aren't finding the ball at the moment.
Okay, it's 43 possessions, but you know, they've got some players who are getting a bit of the footy, but they're just struggling past the centre.
Might have to change our seating positions here, Jared. You might have to sneak in between the two of them. I haven't seen this sort of animosity between the pair.
No, with two Italians, we're lovers, not fighters.
Hate to see Tony leave at half time here. Off half back, WA with the football.
Bolton everywhere.
Yeah, heel kicks into Bolton. He's up to 16 possessions now. 17 with this one. He goes to fullback to Meadows. Meadows has got Cameron breaking at centre half back. That's the direction the kick goes, and the big fella wraps up the mark. He's been very impressive, particularly in this second quarter, Big Darcy. This is an awful kick-off. Wrapped him up beautifully. He turns it over straight to Callanan, who moves it on quickly. A chance for Tasmania. Good mark by Dodge. And that shows just what happens with the turnover. Opens the field up, and Dodge with a chance here for Tassie's second goal.
He's been good too, Dodge.
Yes, he has.
So the young fella
shown some promise. Come into the game with a little bit of a reputation, and he certainly hasn't let it down.
Nick Dodge from Lauderdale. Chance to kick Tassie's second goal. They kicked the first of the game. WA have kicked the last 8. He sets this out to the left a little. It starts to swing and swings too much. One behind only. Tasmania 1-2-8. West Australia 8-8-56. Quickly for Walker's Lawn and Pest Management. It's all level at the Gabba at quarter time. 3-3 apiece between Brisbane and Fremantle.
Nick Rodder to bring it back in for WA. Kicks it to himself and plays on. And now he kicks.
Poor kick.
Long. It was a poor one. Clinton Riley couldn't mark it, so WA still clean it up through Kelly. Kelly to Kitchen. Kitchen's kick over the top to Jones. If he can collect cleanly, he's got Peak over the top. Not a great kick to Peak. Oh no, it's through for a behind.
He was intending to kick it to Peak, but Clint is not that good on his right foot.
Yeah, you won't want to watch that on replay. Clint Jones. His Tasmania work it back into play. And Mott with the footy. He's been very good with his left boot throughout the first half and uses it well to Harry Walters marking at defensive 50. Short pass to Rainbird. Well, it has too much on it. Intercepting here, Van Berlo gives a hand pass off to his West Perth teammate in Meadows. Kicks off a step, and here's Bolton from a standing start, 45 out. Bangs it long for a goal. And he's been brilliant in this first half I should say. 18 possessions and now a goal at the 17-minute mark of the second term. Jai Bolton putting on a show, and WA go from strength to strength. They're 9-9-63 to 1-2-8 on the Kennards High
It's
School.
disappointing, David. It's very disappointing. Bolton has been that outstanding. He's making it very easy for my partner here at the moment. But seriously, Bolton's been absolutely outstanding. And I think the other player that's done some really tough things in close, Mitzi, has been Van Berlo, just in those crunches, in winning that harder ball, and it's been accommodating the likes of Bolton, and he certainly capitalised on the opportunity set up for him.
Yeah, look, WA really taking control of this game now. Tasmania just making too many mistakes in their back half, and once you make a mistake against a quality side like the WA boys, you're going to be punished. Brilliant tap then by Johnson.
Morrison's gone back into the ruck for Tasmania. He gets it out to Clinton Riley. Now Rainbird, his kick to the outer side. He's got a teammate running in front in Lockhart. Lockhart collects it, his kick. He finds a teammate who's marked 50 metres out. In Batchelor.
Got the lime green
boots, looking very nice. And his kick, he spots up a teammate in Whitford. He can have a shot here if he wants to, Whitford. It'll be a difficult kick, 45 metres out, just a couple of steps inside the boundary line.
Well, they need a goal, Tasmania, just to give them some confidence. They got the very first one of the game and haven't scored one for the last 40-odd minutes.
Whitford, he sets up his kick. Does he have the distance? He does. No, he doesn't quite. Johnson just knocks it over the line. And so a minor score for Tasmania, 1-3-9. They move to WA 9-9-63. We played 20 minutes in this second quarter for Kevrick Australia. That's all on the Kennards High scoreboard.
Bolton 18 possessions, Hams 13, 11 to Shane Nelson. Kitchen, Jones and Darcy Cameron 10 touches each. This kick in has gone astray for WA. There were 3 Black Swan jumpers, but getting in the middle, Dylan Riley takes the mark, kicks to Mott at centre half forward. Good hands for the football to be in, and there's a beautiful pass to the lead of Callanan.
Yeah, good to see. from Tassie. They've worked the ball around in their forward 50 or their forward half for the last few minutes and played a possession game. They've been effective apart from kicking the goal. So hopefully Callanan can score this goal from. He'll probably kick right on the 50.
That's the only Tasmanian goal of the game. The first one, as Mitzi just said. Former Crow. So Andrew Stephen at the mark there with the umpire arguing over a metre or two. It could make all the distance as he winds up and bangs it long. It's a good-looking kick off the boot, but he's just swung it away to the left a little and a behind only. So Tasmania with a couple of minor scores here in a hurry. They're 1-4-10. WA a 9-9-63. That's on the Kennards High scoreboard as we've ticked into time on in the second term.
WA move it in quickly. Strike's got it. He takes a bounce. He's got plenty of space and uses it. His kick in the direction of Peak. The mark taken coming from behind by Nankervis. Nankervis's kick goes short. Harry Walters in the headband. He goes inboard. And his kick finds a teammate in Cleary. Cleary goes short. Nick Walters marks in the middle of the ground. Just maintaining possession at the moment. Tasmania trying to keep the ball in their hands for a while. His kick couldn't be taken in the end out there by Batchelor. And he sees it over the line. We'll have a free kick.
Come off a boot, I think.
Batchelor to take it in those lime green boots on the outer side. Just a couple of kicks away from goal. He kicks it inside 50. Thorpe's down there. Couldn't get a clean run at it. And Rodder just used the body very, very nicely. Takes an easy mark. And he chips in short to Hams. Hams moves it by hands to Strike. Strike to Cook at right half back. He's got a teammate running hard in Neats. Can he get it on the bounce? It's close to the boundary line. It just stays in. Neats takes a bounce along the broadcast wing. His kick over the top looking for Cameron. Almost takes a big mark. I think Tony Knott's been paid a free kick. Just taken out of it illegally. So 60 metres out from goal.
Well,
Tony Knott, his kick, it's a good one. And he spotted a teammate running in from the side in Andrew Stephen. And the defender, I'll tell you what, he'd love to kick a goal. A big opportunity for him. He'll kick it from just about 40 metres out for WA's 10th already for the afternoon.
Well, great vision, wasn't it? Great vision by Tony Knight. Yep. You know, Stevens has come right out of defence, sliding down the fat side of the ground, and a long penetrating kick has found him 40 metres out.
Andrew Stephen, a little bit of a skip on the way in. His kick, he sprayed it well right. Doesn't make the distance either. It's punched over the boundary line by a couple of Tassie players, so we'll have a boundary throw in the right forward pocket for WA.
Defender shot for goal there. Andrew Stephen had a chance from 40 metres, but wasn't able to hit the scoreboard.
David Lindsay, Jared Morrell, Tony McHale and Chris Mitsopoulos with you in commentary this afternoon. Boundary thrown in the right forward pocket. Tasmania with a chance through Clinton Riley to clear. Gets a hand pass to Foon. Off to Siggins. Another one onto Cox. He was well tackled by Neats. Not sure he got a hand pass away. The umpire says play on. Spills free and Mott kicks long. Bootsman with a big climb. Makes a good spoil on the wing. Johnson again roving at the front. A hand pass off. Gets it to Meadows onto Hams. And he uses it beautifully. A nice little chip pass over the top, and Ryan Neats is marked directly in front. He'll kick from about 40 out.
The decision by the selectors to play a number of midfielders in this side, the West Australian side, is really paying dividends now. They're all getting plenty of the football, and Hams has certainly been effective this quarter, as has Neats, and as we said, Bolton's had plenty of the footy as well.
They're all hitting the scoreboard as well, aren't they? Hams with a goal, Bolton with a goal, Kelly a goal. And now a chance for Ryan Neats, but he's pushed it left. So behind to WA. Their lead is now 54 points on the Kennards High scoreboard at the 24-minute mark of the second term.
Well, Tasmania, they need to kick a couple of goals. They had a bit of momentum a few minutes ago. They had the ball inside their forward half for some time, but weren't able to get the big 6-pointers.
Cox brings it in, goes short, spots up a teammate in Harper. Now he gets it back. Working it through hands across the half-back line. Dangerously, though. Callanan stripped of it. Now hurt. Saunders, he just dribble kicks it back in the boundary. Tasmania, though, there through Callanan. He gets a handball away. Now they mop it up through Cox. Cox, he spots a teammate in Riley. Riley gets it away eventually. Tasmania just mucking around with a little bit off the half-back line. Now they're able to clear it. Thorpe marks on the outer wing.
Haven't seen much of Thorpe today.
Hasn't had too many opportunities this afternoon. Such has been the dominance of WA. Thorpe, he kicks short. Hayden in the middle of the ground for Tasmania. Hayden's kick. Rainbird marks on the outer wing. And the blue boots been one of their better players as Rainbird. Chip short, Callanan marks, Callanan goes inboard, Foon marks. Foon, chip kick over the top, Thorpe, he's got it just forward to centre. Now he can put Tasmania into a dangerous position and mark out on the lead taken by Dodge.
Good use of the footy by Tasmania there. Excellent play. They were patient and good run by Dodge and a lovely kick by Thorpe. Hit Dodge up.
Dodge looks like he wants to have a shot at goal. He's going to kick it from 50 metres out, just inside the boundary line at right half forward. The kick on its way. Gets the distance easily, but it's to the right-hand side in a big way. It's out of bounds on the full.
Looked like a likely target when they've gone inside 50, Dodge.
Aaron Black, been very quiet today. Gets the kick back into play to strike. A hand pass over the top to Jones. Another one off towards Ashton Hams, former teammates at South Fremantle. Hams comes back inboard to Heel. Great reward for his first half of the season to get a state Guernsey heel. Goes right back to fullback. Off to Bootsma, and Bootsma shares it now by foot with Meadows. Marking defensive 50. His next kick finds Black again, who kicks to the broadcast side wing, and Cameron. WA zigzagging the ball out of defence and doing it nicely. Cameron missed the target in a similar position earlier in the quarter, and this time his kick a little short of Tony Knott. Coming in is Dylan Riley to make the spoil. Hand pass from Arnold, gets it off to Cox. A little underground kick, puts his co-captain under pressure here in Whitford, and he's caught holding the ball.
Good tackle.
So free kick paid, and WA run it away through Jones, who kicks inboard to Johnson. Johnson lays off a hand pass, running past his Hams. Clever little kick across the body, gets it to Cook at centre half forward. A bit of space inside 50. Kelly leads in one direction. Saunders is down there. That's the way the ball goes now. Saunders in front. He's just worked underneath it, and that's the way the umpire saw it. A free kick for a hold, says the umpire. Not sure there was any holding, but I think the Tasmanian defender down there in Reynolds might have just nudged Saunders under the football, so he'll have a shot from directly in front.
Did go early, Dave, and it's noticeable now. Hams playing his usual style of play, back half, Mitzi, picking up a lot of receives and just driving the ball forward, and Tasmania needs to start to look at that situation.
So Ben Saunders, Bernie Naylor medalist of 2012 and 2014. First time representing the States. Kicked one midway through the first quarter and now adds to that tally. So WA get their 10th, close to half time, they're 10-10-70. Tasmania stuck on 1-4-10. We've played 28 minutes in the second quarter, and that's 10 on the trot to WA.
Yes, really dominating the contest now, WA. They're just more efficient with their ball use than Tasmania. Tasmania have got some very good players who use the ball well, but across the board they're just struggling when they go forward, whereas the West Australians are building up a nice wall across the half-back line when Tasmania do get the footy, and with the penetration of players like Bootsma and Meadows and Strike, they get the ball quickly into their forward line, and their mids are doing well. Both Cameron and Johnson have been very good too, and not just in the hit-outs but around the ground as well. Cameron certainly's had a very good second quarter.
So Darcy Cameron's now been moved into the ruck for WA. Paul Johnson having a break on the pine, a well-earned one at that. Ball in the middle of the ground. Clinton Riley gets a handball out. Teammates tackled immediately in Harry Walters.
WA bits. Jared prolific now. Bolton 18. Hams is on 17. Nelson 11. Clint Jones on 12. They're getting a truckload of the ball in the middle.
Half time here in the state game. Western Australia in total control. They're 10-10-70 to 1-4-10 on the Kennards Hire scoreboard. An even 10-goal margin to the Black Swans at the half-time break here, and very hard to see how Tasmania can work their way back into this contest. They kicked the first goal of the game, Tasmania, through Ian Callanan, and WA have replied with 10 in a row, 4 in the first quarter and then 6 to zip in the second quarter. They kicked 6-7 in that term. Welcome back to Steel Blue Oval. WA and Tasmania in action in the state game here. David Lindsay, Jared Merrill and Chris Mitsopoulos for the second half. As I said, Tony McHale sneaking away to Adelaide to join the WA State 18 squad in action tomorrow against South Australia after their big win last week against Vic Country. So another big day for WA. We saw the WA 16s in action against the Swan District's Indigenous All-Stars team earlier today, and they pushed them all the way. There were a few Swans League players involved in that game as well, so it was a good challenge, and the young under-16 boys stood up very well, so promising signs in the youth grades for Western Australia, And things going very nicely for the senior team here as well, as Strike and Van Berlo come towards the bench. So too Bolton and Hams and Neats. Bolton and Hams have combined for 35 possessions in the first half. Mitzi, perhaps Coach Darren Harris wants them to share it around a bit.
Yes, they were very good in the first half, those two, particularly for Hams in the second quarter. Bolton's had a very good first half. So interesting, Riggio getting a bit of an opportunity in the middle of the ground. So he's starting there with Nelson, and also Johnson starting in the middle with Kitchen for Western Australia.
WA by 60 points in the third quarter. Will be brought to you by Tulma. And here's Joe Morrell.
Johnson and Morrison to compete once again. Johnson wins the tap, gets it down in the direction of Riggio. It's shark by Whitford though. Whitford goes forward for Tasmania. His kick made it pretty hard for an opponent down there, a teammate in Cleary. Now WA, they look to turn it over. Through hands though, Tasmania work it. They've still got the ball in their hand. Comes over the top to Riley. That is Dylan Riley. He gets the kick away to Harry Walters. Walters has got a little bit of a space and he shrugs Aaron Black very nicely. Now he kicks it towards the top of the 50 and Thorpe marks it 60 metres out from goal for Tasmania. They'd love to get an early one here in this third quarter. Thorpe, he wants to move it on pretty quickly. Kicks towards the top of the goal square. Meadows had the run and jump in the space as well. He takes a good mark on the last line of defence for WA.
Certainly a very impressive footballer now, young Meadows. Kicks across the face of goal. Jones takes the mark, kicks to half back, and a chance for Kelly to set things up for WA. Kicks in low. Mark taken by Riggio, who can pop it over the top to Nelson. Picks up on the bounce. His hand pass over the top makes it tough for Cameron. He's beaten to the football by Dylan Riley, and Tasmania looking to rebound. Hand pass to Nick Walters, back to Dylan Riley. He gives it off to Nick Walters once more. They're confronted by a few West Australians, so forced to go back. A chance to set things up with a kick into the middle by Whitford. Tassie looked to switch play, but it's an awful kick from Cox. Intercepted by Black. Hurries the kick forward. Saunders at centre half forward. So too Tony Knott. Not with a hand pass. Doesn't quite reach the target. Nice work from Cox looking to make up for his mistake. Could have almost got a free kick there as he was thrown to ground. Nothing opening up. So there'll be a ball up directly in front of the WA goals at centre half forward. They lead by 60 points. Early stages, third term.
Johnson, he wins the tap down. Only as far as Harper, though, who emerges from the pack with it. Gets a handball backwards to Dylan Riley. Dylan Riley's kick, it's a pretty tough one for a teammate in Batchelor. Couldn't take the mark. Aaron Black at ground level gets a handball backwards to Riggio. Riggio to Meadows. Meadows' kick, he spots up a teammate in Cook. Cook swings around on the right boot. 50 metres out, kicks towards the top of the goal square. Tony Knott couldn't quite take the mark, but he's won a free kick by the looks of it anyway.
Saunders, is it?
Yep.
Saunders, in fact, won the free kick.
That's probably his third free kick, so his immediate marksman has to be a little bit careful the way he is playing on Saunders, because that's the third time that Saunders has been pushed under the footy and gets a free kick and has an opportunity to kick his third goal of the contest.
45-degree angle, he'll kick from just 20 metres out will Ben Saunders. Big opportunity for him to kick another one. He does just that. His third goal for the afternoon, as Mitzi said. WA get the first of the third term, the 11th of the afternoon. They move to 11-10-76. Tasmania 1-4-10. And we've gone 3 minutes in this third quarter for Tulma. That's all on the Kennards High scoreboard.
Well, just like the other quarters, Tasmania start the quarter pretty well. They had a fair amount of the footy in the first couple of minutes, but just can't penetrate the forward line. Thorpe has to come a long way down to get his kicks, and the solid defence of WA is just proving too strong at the moment for Tasmania. And when they do turn the footy over, WA just run forward and with their efficient ball use are able to hit up players. But on that occasion it was a free kick that resulted in the goal, and the third one for Ben Saunders.
7 kicks for the South Fremantle Spearhead, and yes, 3 goals as Shane Nelson gets the clearance this time for Western Australia. Kicks to half forward. Kelly works up nicely alongside his opponent Mott, gets rid of him, opens the door for a couple of teammates, but Nelson goes to ground. Crashing through is Harper for Tasmania. Delivers towards half forward and uses it well. Dodge is pretty elusive. Takes the mark and hand passes away to Callanan. Neat little chip pass with the left boot. And leading up to take the mark is Trent Standen. And he can have a shot from just inside 50, 45-degree angle left of centre.
Been very quiet, Standen. I think he's only had 1 or so possessions in the first half, but he is a noted goal kicker in the Tasmanian League. Kicked 24 goals this season for Clarence. So he is... as I said, a noted goal kicker, and hopefully for Tasmania, he can put this one through.
Done a lot of homework on your Clarence players there, Mitzi. Very impressive. It's a good-looking kick from Stanton. It's applauded through for a goal. It ends a run of 11 straight for Western Australia, and Tasmania with their second goal of the match moved to 2-4-16. WA are 11-10-76. That's on the Kennards High scoreboard. 4 minutes into the third quarter for Tulma.
Well, that was good play by Tasmania. They worked the ball very well on the outer side, and Callanan, as we know, a very classy footballer. Stanton was on the lead and got hit up beautifully on the Callanan kick, and a very nice finish by Stanton, I should say. And certainly that gives the Tasmanians a little bit of heart that they were able to kick their second goal of the match, but it's taken them until 5 minutes into the third quarter to do so.
Yes, a much needed goal for Tasmania. We'll see if it gives them a little bit of more confidence in this third quarter. Johnson once again in the middle, wins the tap down to Nelson. He can't get clear of Mott, spills out. Tasmania look to mop it up through hands. Callanan, he's got a little bit of space, takes a bounce. His kick, though, is well cut off by Pickett. Pickett swings around on the left boot. His kick out in front of Van Berlo, who collects it on the bounce. Gets the handball to Neats. Neats over the top to Jones. He's got plenty of Tasmanian players around him. The two teammates in pursuit there slipped over. Now it's Tasmania through Harry Walters, who look to rebound. On the counter, what can they do here? Thorpe marks at centre half forward. Gets it away to Cox. Cox's kick out in front of a teammate down there in Batchelor. Batchelor, he collects it on the bounce, goes backwards. Cox is down there, 40 metres out. He shrugs the Meadows tackle. Chip kick over the top and spots up a teammate in Whitford, who's marked 45 metres out, and he's going to go back and have a shot at goal by the looks of it.
Well, probably Tasmania's best period of play so far in this contest. They've used the ball extremely well with good work out of their defensive half. And now Whitford has a chance to kick consecutive goals for Tasmania.
Been pretty good this afternoon for Tasmania as Taylor Whitford. His kick, the goal umpire didn't have to do too much work. Another goal for Tasmania. Their second straight, 3 goals for 22. They move to on the Kennards High scoreboard at WA 11-10-76. 8 minutes gone in this third quarter for Tulma. That's all on the Kennards High scoreboard.
And certainly in the Tasmanian box there was a little bit of, great encouragement that Tasmania have been able to kick those 2 consecutive goals and have done so by good football. It hasn't been just by luck. They've used the ball well. Someone's run into space inside their forward 50, and on that occasion it was Whitford who's had plenty of the footy for Tasmania this afternoon, one of the co-captains, and he finished nicely. Tasmania, well, let's see if they can have a bit of a run here and just put a bit of pressure back on WA.
For Walker's Lawn and Pest Management, Fremantle 12-3-75 lead Brisbane 4-6-30 at half-time at the Gabba. Massive second quarter from the Fremantle side. I think 9 goals in that quarter. Johnson a big spiking ruck tap towards centre half forward. Kitchens kick partly smothered. Rebounds towards the attacking 50. Neats worked his way to the front in front of Whitford. Now he dives on top of the football. The umpire spares him on this occasion. We'll see a ball up at attacking 50 for WA, attacking the eastern end here at Steel Blue Oval in the third quarter. Johnson wins the ruck contest, but the reason why he won it unopposed was his opposing ruckman was shepherded out of it, according to the umpire, and Morrison gets the free kick. Short pass by foot to Harry Walters. Marks it right half back. And a prolific ball winner in the first half and a bit. Kicks to the wing. Heel makes a good spoil on Dodge. At the back is Pickett, but the boundary too close. Out of bounds in front of the Tasmanian bench here, just forward of centre. For Tasmania, Tim Gapin, one of the runners here for Tasmania, wearing the number 2 in the pink outfit, former Swans champion here, premiership player, back on his home ground, doing the work as the ruckman wrestle. No one really wins clearly at that ruck contest. Cox runs onto the footy now at half forward. Time for a bounce, wants to draw the man, takes them all on, and he's caught from behind. That'll be holding the ball. And free kick goes the way of Strike at half back for WA.
Strike, he moves it on quickly. Nelson marks at left half back for WA. He holds things up for a moment to Shane Nelson in the bright red boots. Now he kicks short. Bolton marks. Another possession for him.
Yep, as soon as they bring Jai Bolton back onto the ground, and Hams, I've got no doubt, will come onto the ground shortly.
Bolton goes down the line. Not marks out in front. Moving. Slow build up at the moment for WA. Now he kicks into the middle of the ground. Ashton Hams, the little man's down there. Made it hard for him, but it's over the top and still plenty of time for Aaron Hill to pick it up in a bit of space. Now he kicks towards the top of the 50. He's got Neats running hard for him, but the boundary line beats him. We'll have a boundary throw in at right half forward for Tasmania, for WA, 60 metres out from goal. 10 minutes play in this third quarter.
It was notable when Tasmania started to win a bit of the ball in the middle of the ground. Bolton and Hams both come back onto the ground.
Johnson down to Hams, gives a hand pass away. A little bit of a scuffle going on between Hams and also Morrison behind the play as Riggio gets the kick inside 50. Van Berlo could pick up. His hot hand pass was too strong for Kelly. So he missed that one. The wrestle continues between Morrison and Hams. They're fighting in different weight divisions. Free kick going against WA for holding the ball. And Bolton was caught this time by Clint Riley in defence. So Riley picks himself up off the ground, takes the free kick, kicks with the left boot, goes wide, puts his teammate under pressure there in Whitford, but Whitford mops up. Hand passes back to Riley, back to Whitford. His kick partly smothered. Foon collects. Hand pass puts Clint Riley under pressure. Good pressure from Neitz. Makes the tackle. Errant hand pass. Nelson hand passes back to Saunders, who steadies and blazes on goal and misses to the left. And in fact, misses everything. It hits the left hand behind post. Should have kicked his fourth goal, but missed this time. Tassie bring it in quickly. They trail by 54.
Wasted opportunity for WA. Dylan Riley's kick was almost marked out in front by Nod, but he sees it over the boundary line for another throw-in. 70 metres out from the Western Australian goal, so another opportunity for them to make amends. Umpire tosses it back in. Johnson with the best body position, taps it down, but it's straight to Clinton Riley. His handball gets it away to a teammate in Lockhart. Lockhart with a bit of run and dash. His pass was a poor one. Van Berlo picks it up now. Whitford almost in his back, applies a strong tackle. And we'll have a ball up directly in front of the WA goal, about 80 metres out.
Well, Tasmania having their best period in this game so far. They've been very competitive.
Johnson, his ruck work's been a feature this afternoon. Clinton Jones is the recipient this time, but Cullinan sharks it off him, and he gets a handball away to Whitford. Whitford's kick into the middle of the ground puts a teammate under pressure in Hayden. Strike was there. Free kick's been paid to Strike. Hayden might have got him a little bit low there. So Strike, he's looking
Nelson
to make a big switch now. His kick, I'll tell you what, it's pinpoint perfect. Spots up a teammate in Nelson. Nelson's got a teammate running over the top in Pickett, who marks 70 metres out from goal. Now he chips in short, and the mark taken 48 metres out from goal by Andrew Stephen.
Well, let's see if he can do better this time, Andrew Stephen. He sees Johnson on his left side, but decides to have a shot. He's probably going to kick from 50 metres. He's had one attempt as a defender today.
I reckon he really wants to go here, Mitzi.
Yeah, didn't have much success the first time around, so let's see what you can do this time, Andrew.
He's going to take a pretty solid kick, 50 metres out, just right of centre. He's not going to get the distance to the goal line.
Great
Big fly, and mark taken by Ben Reynolds. He could have gone to spoil, but he thought, no, I've got a good crack to mark this, and he did very well. Now Tasmania mop it up across the half-back line. Errant kick, though, will have a boundary thrown at right half forward for WA.
It's his second possession, Mitzi.
Yeah, it's only 2 possessions. What a great one. What a great one. A sensational mark in a very congested pack, and he just leapt onto the pack and took an excellent mark.
Boundary throw in right beneath the Kennards High scoreboard, which shows WA 54 points to the good. Tasmania, though, having their best period of the game, having kicked the last 2 goals. The ball back over the boundary in front of the can bar, and that's packed over there this afternoon.
Coach Brett Gapin would be pretty happy with the way the Tasmanians have come out in the second half. They've certainly taken it up to WA after being really outclassed in the first half.
There's only been 3 goals kicked in the term, and Tassie have 2 of those. Clint Jones has the footy. He's tackled and loses it with the hand pass that goes straight to Harper. Hand pass over the top to Dodge. His hand pass was touched in flight and now out of bounds. Just forward of centre wing now for Tasmania.
Had a lot of the ball, Harper. Harper and certainly Whitford are giving him a lot this quarter. Whitford up to 20 possessions.
He's kicked a goal as well, has Whitford, one of the co-captains, alongside Reynolds. So Whitford with the most possessions for Tasmania and Reynolds with the least, but he is playing full-back to be fair. WA trying to work this one forward. Harper gets in the way. His hand pass goes astray. Kitchen threads his hand pass through some traffic. Does well. Gets it to Black. Black uses the ball nicely to Knott. And he's met solidly as he back for that mark. Bounces to his feet quickly. Moves it on. And that's a good pass to Saunders. He marks 20 out directly in front, and this time should kick goal number 4.
Well done by Tony Knott there. Showed great courage to back and take a good mark.
He's a bit sore, I think,
yeah,
too.
I
He's
think
pretty ginger as he jogs towards his position in the zone.
Might have got a little knee, but had the presence of mind also to get up because he knew that Saunders' man had come off him and Saunders was all alone 20 metres out.
He's kicked 3. He's actually kicked the last 2 that WA have kicked, and he now kicks his 4th goal. To the eastern end, WA 12-10, 82, lead Tasmania 3-4, 22. That's on the Kennards High scoreboard. We played 14 minutes in the third quarter for Tulma.
Yes, Benny Saunders doing his bit for Western Australia this afternoon. With 4 goals on the board, what you expect from your full forward, but great work then by Tony Knight. I thought he did really well, showed great courage, and finished off with an excellent pass to Saunders, who, as happens a lot these days, Dave, you kick a goal and you come off the ground.
You would have hated that in your day, Mitzi, wouldn't you?
Oh, I wouldn't have come off. Because you couldn't come off, because you wouldn't be allowed back on the ground. True. But anyway, good reply by WA then, particularly as Tasmania have really been competitive in this third quarter.
So WA have hit back after Tasmania had a bit of play. Johnson couldn't get a clean run of it. Out of the middle was Harper for Tasmania. His kick out wide, a teammate running in pursuit in Hayden. He overran it though, brings Nelson into it. Kitchen, his handball too hot for Johnson. Johnson does very well though at ground level. Evades a couple of opposing players, gets it off the Rodder to Bootsma. Bootsma's kick, not a pretty one, but spots up Johnson nonetheless. Johnson,
good
he goes
vision.
inboard, short to Kitchen. Kitchen's got a man running out of defence in Rodder. Rodder's kick, he's going to put a teammate under a bit of pressure there, not on the bouncing ball. He couldn't collect it cleanly. Here's Cox for Tasmania. He gets it away just in time via hands, and they go forward through Standen. Spills out the back to Callanan. Can he get a rare goal for Tasmania this afternoon? He kicks his 2nd of the afternoon. Does Ian Callanan. Tasmania move to 4-4-28. WA 12-10. 82. 16 minutes gone in this third quarter for Tulma. They've been a lot more impressive, though, this quarter of Tasmania, Mitzi.
They certainly have, Jared. They have outscored WA, in fact, 3-2. And again, on the turnover that time, WA just didn't use the ball as well as they've done in the past going forward. There was a spillage. The ball was won by the Tasmanian defence. Then they used the ball well, and Callanan, that's what he's noted for, was on the ground, waited for the ball to hit the turf, picked it up in a lovely little deft snapshot. Tasmania, they'd be very happy with this third quarter, because they have certainly taken it right up to the Black Swans.
3-2 to the map. Tasmania go forward again. Batchelor with a kick towards half forward. Thorpe worked off the football. Meadows picks up, gives a hand pass away to Kitchen, and now another one back to Hill, and he kicks wide to the outer side. WA on the spread again here. Neats with the mark, calls his teammate into Shepherd. Doesn't need it in the end, he's too quick anyway for Mott. He's had a few bounces now. Neats draws the man and hand passes to his Claremont teammate in Bolton. Bolton comes inboard to strike, can go for a run and almost a shot for goal from here. No, he kicks to the top of the goal square. Tasmanian players fly and spoil each other. Peake bounces to his feet and snaps the goal.
Hey.
Well, the Tasmanian defence made a bit of a mess of it, and Peake doesn't need a second invitation. Great football from Brett Peake. He's got 3. His dad used to make a habit of kicking goals in state games. Good old Bomber. And now Tasmania back out, or WA rather, back out to a 10-goal lead. 13-10, 88 on the Kennards High scoreboard. They lead Tasmania 4-4-28. We played 18 minutes in the third quarter for Tulma.
Had the pleasure of playing in the state game with his dad, Bomber Peake, who was an outstanding footballer for East Fremantle, WA, and also played for Geelong. And he'd be very happy with the way his son's performed in his first game at 33 years of age, his first state game, and he's made a solid contribution with 3 goals, and none better than that one. He was Tasmania probably spoilt themselves that time. Once the ball hit the ground, Peake was able to win the footy and just nicely thread through a goal, and WA got one back pretty quickly.
So it'll be Siggins and Cameron this time to compete in the ruck. Cameron goes up, wins the tap, straight down to Harper though. He can't get rid of it. He's tackled immediately by Nelson. He'll do it all again. Umpire quick to toss it up. This time it's Siggins who wins it. Cameron though, he grabs it, stripped of it immediately. Down on the bottom of the pack is Cox, but he's tackled by Cameron. And we'll have another ball up. 19 minutes gone in this third quarter for Tulma. It's WA with a 60-point lead. Bolton with a clearing kick. Almost taken out in front there by Foon. Umpire said he didn't have it for long enough. Now the ball's in dispute. Bolton collects it. Gets the handball away to Riggio. Riggio's sweeping handball. Foon collects. Tackled immediately by Jones. And we'll have another ball up. 50 metres out from the Western Australian goal.
WA by 10 goals. Umpire Williamson throws in the air. Good leap from Knott. Wins it down to the path of Bolton. Paddles it towards Kelly. Hand pass over the top to Neitz. Chips out in space. Running onto it, Riggio. Clever use of the ball from Ryan Neitz. And Riggio running onto it takes the mark. And the man from Swan Districts, his home ground here today, a chance to shoot for goal.
Again, just quick hands by Bolton in close. He got it out to his teammate, and then I think it was Neitz, and Neitz neatly gets it across to Riggio.
The former Kangaroo from 45 out, tight to the right-hand goalpost. In fact, so tight it hits it flush on. Rebounds back into the field of play. One behind, 13-11-89. WA lead Tasmania 4-4-28. That's on the Kennards High scoreboard. We're moving into time on in the third.
Cox goes short. Harper marks. His kick to Harry Walters at right half back. Been very busy this afternoon is Harry Walters for Tasmania. Arguably their best player this afternoon. His kick, an up and under one down the line. Looking for Thorpe, but plenty of WA players there. Rodder and Cameron competed. Neither could take the mark. We'll see it over the line for a boundary throw-in right in front of us on this broadcast wing. It'll be Cameron and Morrison this time to compete in the ruck. Morrison in front wins it down. Van Berlo couldn't take it cleanly with the fist. Cameron thumps it forward only as far as Clinton Riley. Wrapped up, all up. Shane Nelson applies the tackle. Cameron wins the tap. Van Berlo slipped out of his hands. Now Cox just slams it on the boot and moves it forward to Tasmania. Thorpe and Rodder down there. Neither could gather it. Then Rodder on the second go. Hill, his chip kick. Wasn't a great one. Dylan Riley posed it well. Now Jake Cox, tumbling kick forward, but only as far as Marlon Pickett, who looks to mop up for WA, and he wants to move it quickly. A dangerous kick. Ryan Cook takes the mark. It was well weighted in the end. Cook, he chips short, and Meadows marks. Meadows on the outer wing. Kelly, he marks. Moving it nicely at the moment, WA. Another short kick. Jai Bolton with another possession. Just running hard, Bolton. Creates plenty of space for his teammate with the footy. Throws inboard to Kitchen. Kitchen's kick. He's got Neitz all by himself, 50 metres out. Gets the handball to Van Berlo. Van Berlo goes to the top of the goal square. Cameron dropped the chest mark he should have taken. Brett Peake at ground level. He just dribbles it through for another goal. Brett Peake is fourth for the afternoon. He's having a bit of a day out now, is Brett Peake. He's still got it as the old-timer. And WA kick another goal. And we're now gone 21 minutes played in this third quarter for Toolmart. WA now are 12 goals, 11. What are they now? 89.
14-11?
14-11 now, of course. And Tasmania 4-4-28. As I said, 21 minutes gone in this third quarter for Toolmart. That's all on the Kennards High score. Well, getting great service from their forwards, WA. Peake again in the right spot on the ground and was able to dribble one through. So he is really put his hand up today again. Brett Peake, he's had a great season at East Fremantle, being a regular contributor on the scoreboard, up there high in the leading goal kickers, and today again for Western Australia doing extremely well. Peake and Saunders have kicked 5 between them, the last 5 of the game for WA. That's what I meant to say as they go forward again. Neitz will hand pass to Saunders. He can make it the last 6 for WA. Saunders into the open goal. Saunders has 5. He's winning the head-to-head competition with Brett Peake. He's on 4. And WA have cracked the ton. 23 minutes into the third quarter, they're 15-11-101. Tasmania are 4-4-28. Well, he's putting the pressure on me now, Saunders. He's kicked 5 goals, so a good effort by Ben Saunders. But again, WA just winning the footy too easy out of the middle on this occasion, getting it in quick, catching the defenders out. The defenders at times are just getting caught looking at the footy, and West Australian players have been on the ground. On that time it was Saunders who was just able to pick up the spillage and kick another easy goal. So in quick succession we've seen 2 from Peake and 1 from Saunders. So the margin out to 73 points now the way of Western Australia. Unfortunately starting to look a bit ugly for Tasmania now. Johnson, he wins the tap in the middle. His tap work has been outstanding this afternoon. Callanan emerges with it from the pack. His kick out wide, and he spots up a teammate in Dylan Riley with the sleeve. He kicks it towards the top of the 50. Good spoil from behind by Marlon Pickett. Jones at ground level. He was strongly tackled and holding the ball. It's been paid advantage. Tasmania out in front of Thorpe. The kicks just missed him. Strike. He's happy to see it over the boundary line. So a throw in. Left forward pocket for Tasmania. Love to get a goal late in this quarter with Tassie. After a good start to the quarter, the last 10 to 15 minutes have been all WA's way. And a chance for Cox from the stoppage. His kick, he centres it, but it's turned over. Ryan Cook takes the mark on the last line of defence. He moves it on to Peake at left half back.
So Peake working a long way up from his forward pocket. Hand pass off to Strike. Good delivery as always from Strike. Kicks to Nod at centre half back. Hand pass to the runner going past in Cook. He gives off to Riggio. High kick. Cameron with the sit. Takes a good mark. 45 out directly in front. Darcy Cameron had a brilliant second quarter. He's been largely unsighted in this third, but that's often the way the state games go, isn't it, Mitzi? Particularly in a game such as this, where I think Darren Harris will be very happy to share the workload between the entire squad.
Absolutely. The game was really won by half time for Western Australia. While Tasmania have been very competitive in this quarter, certainly the last 10 or so minutes, WA have regained their dominance. And Cameron, who we really enjoy watching him in that contested mark situations, taken another good one.
So he kicked 2 goals in the second term, and he sent this one goalward for his third. It's going to just clear the goal line and get through. And the flags are waving behind the goals. Good to see a couple of West Australian flags behind the goals down there, and WA stretched their lead out to 79 points. It's 16 goals, 11, 107. It's a 4-4-28 on the Kennards high scoreboard, and the third quarter for Toolmart has travelled 26 minutes.
Well, 5 of the last 6 goals to Western Australia, probably the last 4 have come in very short period of time. And Cameron, as we mentioned, excellent second quarter, that time in a one-on-one contested situation, took another strong mark and finished off with his third goal of the game, and certainly putting his hand up now as a player who's a potential draftee in the future.
Well, 12 goals kicked now between Peake, Saunders and Darcy Cameron, so really enjoying their time down there in the forward line are those West Australian forwards this afternoon. 16 goals for the team on the board already, and we haven't even reached the three-quarter time interval. Back in the middle, we'll have a ball up as players pile on in. Jai Bolton and Ashton Hams around the footy once again, looking to win another possession. Comes out to Kitchen. Kitchen gets it to that man Hams I just spoke of. Hams, he strikes a tackle. Short kick, almost taken on the second grab by Saunders. Looks like he has hurt his knees. Slow to get up is Benny Saunders. Kitchen, he gets it now. His kick towards Knott, fully outstretched, couldn't take the mark. Black, the tackle on Callanan. And Callanan wins the free kick.
Yeah, he seems to be okay. Awkward landing.
Didn't look good for a minute. 50 metres for Callanan. It's been very useful today, Callanan. Kicked a couple of goals. You can tell the class players in the Tasmanian side.
Certainly shown his class on a couple of occasions this afternoon as Ian Callanan. His experience has come to the fore. He's kicked, short one. Cox marks.
He's had a lot of the footy, Cox. He's quite another one of those skillful players, as is Harry Walters.
Harry Walters has got it now. His kick, he goes towards the top of the goal square, looking for a teammate who will fly from behind in Nick Walters. Couldn't take the mark. Now WA look to mop it up off half back. Here's Black. He gives it to Nelson. Nelson's kick. Jones marks. Right half back. And Jones, he elects to go for the handball over the top to Bolton. Bolton to Nelson. Nelson back to Jones. Jones now under a bit of pressure, gets it back to Nelson. Nelson over the top to Bolton. Bolton to Van Berlo, evades the play, gets it back to Bolton. To Van Berlo, he gets the handball back to Nelson. They're just mucking around with it, but getting the job done still at the moment. The WA plays. Aaron Black with the kick.
Good strong mark.
But it's cut off by the big ruckman for Tasmania in Morrison.
Morrison, centering kick to Cleary, almost back at full back. Tasmania straightening up. The kick has Harper stretching, but he takes it at centre half back, which he needed to do. There were West Australians sweating on that loose footy if it came to ground. Kick from Harper to Callanan on the broadcast side wing. Kicks looking for Dodge, too much on it. Now opposed to Johnson once the ball hits the deck. Dodge does well, paddles it forward. Batchelor wants to keep this alive, but Pickett makes sure he goes over with the footy. Strong bump from the South Fremantle defender, and it's out of bounds in front of the McDonald stand.
Johnson has a turn of pace over 5 or so metres, the big ruckman. really got to dodge pretty quickly then.
He's had 19 hit-outs. Morrison's had 13. Johnson wins this to the front of the pack. Bolton on hands and knees. Fires a hand pass out to Van Berlo. Back to Hams. Off to Black, who pops one back to Van Berlo. Spins into a tackle. Gets a hand pass through, looking for Hams, who milks the free kick.
He did the old drop
the
the
knees. You can see it coming every day of the week there, but Hams gets the free kick at left half back. And for once, that McDonald's stand stays quiet when he gets a high tackle.
Ashton Hams at left half back. He goes further backwards. And the mark taken by Hill. Hill goes sideways as they look to switch play here, the West Australians, to Meadows. Meadows' kick was way too wide for a teammate out there, so we'll have a boundary throw in. Left half forward for Tasmania, in between wing and half forward, really. So things just slow down momentarily as the players suck in a deep breath. We'll round very hard this afternoon.
Beautiful
Johnson
tap.
wins it down to Black. Hams, Hams to Bolton. Those players combine once again. Kick out to Kelly on the outer side, in between wing and half back for WA. He goes short down the line. His kick was smothered off the boot. Not in there. Kelly gets it back though via hands. Now he goes inboard to Bolton. Bolton to Johnson, pushed off the kick. Finds Meadows though nonetheless. Meadows' kick, he looks to switch play. Bootsma, he's got it 70 metres out from WA's goal. He's got Peake running out in front once again. He just leads to the football so well, does Brett Peake. He's marked it, the siren's gone, and he's going for goal number 5.
Yes, Brett Peake has been another valuable forward for Western Australia today. They've got great value out of their two forwards in Peake and Saunders in this game, as well as Cameron when he's been forward. So they'd be very pleased with the structure they've had up in their forward line today, Western Australia.
Peake will kick it from about 48 metres out, just left of centre. The kick on its way, it's coming back right to left, it's straight through the middle. A beautiful kick from Brett Peake. Ryan meets him with a high five, and his WA teammates surround him. So WA get their 17th goal of the afternoon on the three-quarter time siren. They move to 17 goals, 11 now to WA. Tasmania 4-4 at three-quarter time. That third quarter all brought to you by Toolmart on the Kennards High scoreboard.
Probably only going to get worse from here for Tasmania, the way things have gone. The biggest margin ever between these two sides for Western Australia defeated Tasmania by 122 points back in 1964, so that's not out of the realms of possibility here at the moment. David Lindsay, Jared Morrell and Chris Mitsopoulos, your commentary team here this afternoon. Let's check some of the stats at three-quarter time, focusing on the individuals to the three-quarter time break. Jai Bolton had 16 possessions in that third quarter after starting it on the Pine. He has 34 possessions and a goal, 16 kicks and 18 hand passes, 25 touches to Shane Nelson. Ashton Hams has had 22. Kitchen is up to 18. Van Berlo has had 17. Meadows in defence 16, and there's so many players in double figures. I mentioned 5 goals to Peake and 5 goals to Saunders. Darcy Cameron has 3 as well. While for Tasmania, their better ball winners. Cox has been impressive with 24 possessions, Harper 23. Whitford very good with his 20 touches, including a goal there. Harry Walters 19, also Callanan 19 with 2 goals, and Mott has been pretty good with his 17 possessions as well. Mitzi, it's been as expected, I guess. We did think that the West Australians would be far too strong. They've been impressive. The Tassie boys, the map as they're known, they gave a bit of a yelp early in the third quarter, but WA sorted things out pretty quickly again.
Yeah, absolutely right, Dave. They had their best passage or period of play in the first probably 15 minutes of that third quarter, Tasmania, when they managed to outscore WA 3 goals to 2, but WA got out of their restlessness and certainly finished the quarter strongly, kicking the last 5 or 6 goals of the quarter, led by Peake and Saunders with 3 each in that quarter. But Jai Bolton continues to be the standout player on the ground. Picked up something like 16 possessions in that quarter. It's not that he's getting the ball in close, he's also working into space to be the link man. And it's been a very impressive performance by him. He continues his outstanding form that he's had since he's moved over from Werribee to Western Australia. Be very proud of his performance in the black and gold jumper today. But really, for Tasmania's sake, let's hope that they can at least half the last quarter, because it looks like WA, with the way that their midfield in total dominance, is going to run away with a very, very comfortable win.
It's the Black Swans by 85 points. Here's Joe Morrell.
Out of the middle, it's WA once again through Bolton. His kick was well smothered by Whitford, who sends it forward for Tasmania. Callanan, he tries to collect it on the bounce. He does that, just that. Van Berlo slams him to the turf, though. And we'll have a ball up in the opening 30 seconds of this final quarter, brought to you by Combined Metal Industries. Johnson wins it out of the ruck. Riggio collects, gets a quick handball to Van Berlo. Van Berlo, he goes forward in the direction of Cameron with the one hand, down the ground level. Peak the handball off to Neitz. Neitz takes a bounce, running towards the boundary line, has a shot at goal. It's to the right hand side. Just a minor score for Ryan Neitz. WA moved to 17 at 12, 114. Tasmania 4-4, 28. A couple of minutes gone in this final term for Combined Metal Industries.
So Thorpe in defence kicks very, very short. Gets it to Harper, works hard to get it back again, and then Thorpe kicks another short pass. They're still inside defensive 50 with the mark taken by Dylan Riley. His delivery is good and gets it to Reynolds, one of the co-captains. Shares it with his fellow co-captain with a hand pass away towards Whitford, and then Whitford uses it well with a good short pass to Harry Walters.
Good kick by Harry.
Nice pass to Standen, and now Standen long to centre half forward. Callanan was the target. Rodder coming out from full back. Almost did enough to be paid the mark on his chest, but as it was, it fell straight into the waiting hands of Heel. His kick to the wing finds Neitz. Neitz with a bounce, steadies, and then chips short on the lead. His Claremont teammate in Cameron couldn't take the mark. Now he's dragged it underneath himself. He's in trouble. Needs to be pinged, I would have thought. The umpire, well, Tasmanian coaches next to us in the coaching box weren't impressed, but Mark Warrabeck, the umpire, has given Darcy Cameron a bit of slack there.
I agree with the coach then. Probably should have been holding the ball.
Bolton feeds out a Neitz. He slams it on the boot, goes forward. The mark taken, though, by Thorpe back there, who moves it on. Good kick. Lockhart marks. Lockhart wants to move it on quickly. Wheels around on the right boot. A penetrating ball. Standen marks on his chest. Standen, he moves on the top. Near the back there of Lockhart. Opposed to Pickett. They go forward, though, nonetheless, to Tasmania. Opportunity down there for Batchelor, but he was well worked off the ball, and WA, they look to clear it off their defensive side of the ground. Bolton, handball into the middle to Riggio, he goes inside 50 of Brett Peake. He's got space out in front once again. If he can collect it at ground level, he does that now. Looks inboard, swings around on the right boot. Cook, he marks. 80 metres out from the WA goal. Slows things down momentarily does Ryan Cook. Chips short. Gains another 20 metres. Matt Riggio's marked at left half forward. He calls for players to lead at him. Darcy Cameron does just that, but coming in from the side and well spoiled in the end there by Dylan Riley. We'll have a boundary throw in the left forward pocket for Tasmania, 30 metres out from goal.
Well, the game really is going to really fizzle out unless Tasmania can just get a couple of goals on the board, give them something to go home with, knowing that they at least might have halved the last quarter. But it looks like the WA really dominating now around the stoppages in particular, where Bolton has been outstanding, where Hams has been very good. Their whole midfield, in fact, has had plenty of the football all day. And as we said at the start, a good decision by the selectors to play a number of midfielders in this team, and they've all contributed solidly.
Cook will get an opportunity here after Riggio found him with a short foot pass, and South Fremantle's captain will have a shot from just the slightest of angles, about 45 metres out. He's had a quietish sort of day, Ryan Cook, just 11 possessions. He has received or taken 8 marks, so he's been a bit of a link man. And he's been in good touch in the red and the white for South Fremantle. Registered his 100th game, former Magpie, and has 6 goals, 4 for the season. He's got a big second half of the season coming up as South Fremantle look to secure a premiership this season. Kicking towards the Bassendean end. It's a pretty good looking kick off the boot, and it's WA's 18th goal, 18-12, 120. They lead Tasmania 4-4, 28. Played 4 minutes in the final quarter for Combined Metal Industries.
Well, when I look at the WA side across the board, it's been a very even performance. Most players getting plenty of the football. Probably only 2 or 3 players haven't had more than 10 possessions, and naturally enough, they're players probably that have played down back. But the midfield have all shared the footy. I like the term I heard from Coach Darren Harris in an interview. they're all getting a lick of the ice cream. I reckon that's a great term, and that's certainly been the case today with the West Australian midfield, and Ryan Cook has added to the scoreboard now with a nice finish.
So a big day this now for WA. We're back in the middle. Johnson wins the tap. Come out with it though to Tasmania through Callanan. He gets it back to a teammate. It was a poor kick though, turned over. And Meadows takes the mark at right half back for WA. Meadows, he's going to go further backwards to Bootsma. Bootsma at centre half back. He looks to switch play, and then he's got a teammate running hard who takes the mark in Stevens. Stevens goes inboard to Hill. Hill to Kitchen. They work it back into the middle of the ground. Handball over the top to Meadows. Meadows with a little bit of run and dash.
Beautiful
he sends
kick.
it forward to the top of the goal square. Cameron's down there, 2-on-1. Needs it ground level. Gets the handball away to Paul Johnson. And Johnson snaps around the body. He gets another goal. His second of the afternoon. And just another goal they add to the tally to WA. Now their 19th goal today. They move to 19-12, 126. Tasmania 4-4-28. 7 minutes played in this final term for Combined Metal Industries.
Well, another great goal by Western Australia, and in that instance, the value of a long kick into your forward line. And that was Luke Meadows, another one of these defenders that has such a penetrating kick that really puts the defenders under pressure. There was a contest there with Darcy Cameron. The ball spilt. And the big fella, Paul Johnson, who's been outstanding from the first tap of the day. I reckon he's led from the front all day, Paul Johnson. Had some quiet periods in the middle, but his imposing figure has been one of the reasons WA have been good today. And certainly I've been very impressed. Luke Meadows certainly hasn't looked out of place in this WA side either.
Just get the feeling, Jared, that Paul Johnson might be in the boats from Mitzi. I think he might. WA trying to work their way out of the middle. Hams is tackled. Has a second opportunity, can't get it out. There'll be a ball up between the centre circles and centre half forward. We'll find out from Mitzi after the game, after the announcement of the medal. I'm sure he'll tell us whoever gets the medal, that's who he voted for anyway. I think he did that last year. Johnson wins it down towards Kitchen. Hand pass away to Hams, who's trying to duck his way out of a tackle, but he's well caught this time. That's a good tackle by Callanan. Tasmania on the rebound quickly. Cox has it. Can he hit a target with the left boot? Yes, he can. That's beautiful delivery. And the mark taken by Standen, who looks dangerous, Mitzi, when he gets himself into some space.
He certainly does. As I mentioned, he's a very good goal kicker in their local competition. Haven't seen a lot of him, but when he does get into some space, he has looked dangerous and kicked a very good goal in the third quarter. An opportunity to put his second on the scoreboard.
He's only had the 5 kicks so far today. Kicked Tasmania's first goal in the third term. This is not a bad kick off the right boot as it heads goalward. It snicks the outside of the goalpost. So one behind only. Tasmania 4-5-29. WA 19-12, 126. That's on the Kennards higher scoreboard. We're 8 minutes into the final term.
Meadows marks it right half back. Shank the kick. Meeks might still grab it on the bounce. He's slung to ground level. Tasmania turned it over. Standen had it for a moment. Lost it. Tasmania just slipping through their hands at the moment. Nick Walters is in there. That is Harper, who's tackled strongly by Hams, will have a ball up. So Tasmania have got it in their half of the ground at the moment, in between wing and half forward. They'd like to get a consolation goal. Goes forward though for WA and takes the mark out in front is Saunders on the broadcast wing. He moves it quickly. He's got Tony Knott over the top in space, who marks 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle. It looks like he's pretty keen to go back and take a shot at goal.
That was a lovely kick by Saunders, almost off a step. Saw Knott just lead into some space behind his opponent, and it perfectly weighted kick by Saunders allows Knott now to have an opportunity and hit the scoreboard for Western Australia and give more pain to the Tasmanian players.
Well, one of few players not to hit the scorecard this afternoon is Tony Knott. He'll kick from 48 metres out. It's a beautiful kick, straight through the middle. WA extend their lead to over 100 points now. 103 points will be the margin in their favour as they move to 20-12, 132. Tasmania 4-5-29. And we are 10 minutes gone in this final quarter for Combined Metal Industries. That's all on the Kennards Hire scoreboard.
Well, it all started from another outstanding tap from Johnson down to Riggio. Riggio got the ball on quickly and and it was able then not to hit Saunders. Saunders saw not run into some space. He took the mark and finished off with a very efficient kick, and that's been the real highlight of WA's play today. Their ball use has been highly efficient by both hand and foot.
Well, the eyes are starting to turn, I reckon, for some of these WA players to book themselves a place for next year already. A trip to Melbourne to take on the Big V. I wonder whether any of these guys might automatically get themselves an opportunity just from their performance today. We're hoping we do, Mitzi.
Yes, we certainly do.
Hopefully our performance has been all right to get a trip over there as well, as Bootsma sends WA forward. Long kick. Tony Knott! Massive leap. Couldn't quite finish the mark. Saunders picks it up at ground level, but he's tackled immediately. We'll see a ball up at 45 metres out. He certainly can get off the ground, Tony Knott.
He is a very exciting player, Tony Knott. Probably didn't get the opportunities at next level up, but he's certainly at this level a very exciting footballer.
He just played the 2 games during his time on the West Coast Eagles list. From this ball up, Tasmania have gained about 10 metres. We'll see a ball up, I think, just outside the 50. No, the Tassies are looking to move it on again. I think it's Nick Walters who had a crack, but it's stuck under the pack. And there'll be a ball up now, 55 out from the WA goal, attacking the Bassendean end. Their lead is 103 points.
So WA, they've had it pretty much all their way today. Johnson wins it out of the ruck. Once again, his ruck work's been outstanding, as I've mentioned on a few occasions this afternoon. But Tasmania with a footy now. Short kick, definitely didn't travel 15. Lockhart ended up with it. The kick's coming back towards the direction of the boundary line and eventually trickles over. Out in front of it there was Nankervis, but just slipped out of his hands, so we'll have a boundary throw in. About 70 metres out from the WA goal. Darcy, Cameron and Morrison to compete this time in the ruck. Morrison in front, wins down the tap, only as far as Clint Jones, who gets it back to Neitz. Neitz ducks his head, strong tackle by Harper on him. We'll have another ball up. Ball up hasn't travelled too far at all in the past minute or so. Plenty of stoppages. Players starting to get pretty tired after a big day of football this afternoon. They've all worked very hard. Jai Bolton's kick from the stoppage. Jones marked but didn't travel 15. It's over the line. We'll have another boundary throw in. 80 men is out from WA's goal.
Well, the game really is going to fizzle out because Tasmania's just been totally outclassed, as we know today. We anticipated this, and it's certainly been the case today.
Strike, standing strong in a tackle, hand pass to Neitz, off to Jones. The close handballing of WA has been outstanding today. Eventually they find a release man in Rodder, who bangs it long towards the 50-metre arc. Johnson competing well against a couple. Crashing through is Cleary for Tasmania, loses possession of the football. Foon is there, he's tackled. Reynolds is working hard for Tassie as well. And bustling his way through Harry Walters. He's been very good in defence. Hand pass towards Dylan Riley, off to Callanan, who kicks down the line. Too much carry on the kick for Thorpe. Getting back is Pickett for WA. No one goes to him to put any pressure on, so he waltzes out of that pack, kicks into the centre of the ground, finds Bolton. Hand pass off to Bootsma. Good things normally come when the ball comes in his hands. He kicks to the lead of Pete. Good defensive work. Nice work by Arnold. Brings it to ground, but Hams is there. His kick inboard's not great. And getting across, Harper marks at defensive 50 for Tassie, and they can rebound down the outer side.
Harper quick to move it on. Dodge takes the mark. He doesn't have too much in front of him, looking for Stander, but man played in front. Did well Stephen. Couldn't take the mark, but now collects it at ground level as WA look to rebound. Stevens, he gets it back to Bootsma. Bootsma sends it further back to Meadows via hands. Meadows, kick down the line, Hams marks, and Hams, he sends it deep inside forward 50. Saunders is down there, didn't really have a good run and jump at it. Johnson at ground level, Saunders will have another crack. Foon though, he cleans it up for Tasmania, gets it to Nick Walters. Nick Walters kicks short, spots up a teammate in Whitford. Whitford short kick inboard, Harper, didn't travel 15, gets it over the top to Clinton Riley. Now he works it back via hands, but the Tasmanian kick is chopped off by Bootsma on the outer wing.
Bootsma towards centre half forward, makes it tough for Cook. Too much carry on the kick anyway. Callanan at the back. Hand passes to Cox, who took his eye off it. Time to recover though. Hand pass back to Callanan. Callanan goes 20 metres backwards by hand to Cox. Now another hand pass back. Tasmania retreating under a lot of pressure. Cox receives a hand pass from Nankervis. Zigging and zagging. He eventually buys himself some time. Kicks with the left, but Jones gets in the way. Intercepts in front of Siggins, but then drops the footy. Siggins, hand pass off to Cox, who sells some candy and chips in short. Hayden marks on the wing. Another short pass towards half forward. Standen allows this to bounce in front. He gets rid of Stephen. He's got a man over the top in Dodge. He ignores him. Goes for goal and misses to the left. A behind for Tassie. 4-6-30. WA 20 goals, 12-1-32. We're midway through the final term for Combined Metal Industries.
Oh, I hate to say the term there, Dave, but a little bit selfish there by Standen.
Hungry.
Pickett's kick back into Bolton. He just gets another possession to Kitchen. Kitchen to Johnson. Johnson, he gets it on. They're just moving along the wing nicely here, WA. It's eventually turned over, though. It's fallen back in their hands, though. Van Berlo kicks in short. Kitchen marks. Handball inboard to Hams. Hams has got a bit of space. He goes further inboard to Black. Black works it nicely to Knott. He runs to 60 metres out. Kicks it towards the top of the goal square. Brett Peake has to sit at the back of the pack. He takes the mark just 10 metres out. And Brett Peake will be kicking for goal number 6.
Yes.
So he's marked it at the top of the goal square. Just 10 metres out is Brett Peake. Right of centre, 45-degree angle. Brett Peake makes his way on in. Should make no mistake. He doesn't. It's straight through the middle. He's been very impressive as Brett Peake this afternoon. He's the leading goal kicker on the ground. He has 6 next to his name. And WA now have 21 next to their name. 21-12, 138 they are now. Tasmania 4-6-30. We've travelled 16 minutes in this final term for Combined Metal Industries. That's all on the Kennards High scoreboard.
Gee, I wonder whether Brett Peake's name might be just sneaking up that list a little bit. 6 goals in a state game. Gee, you've got to be a contender, don't you, Jared? What do you think?
Well, I reckon he'd be going pretty close.
He's frantically considering the options over there on his sheet. 108 points is the margin. The record margin between these two sides, 122, so there's time for WA to get there. 6 goals to Brett Peake. 138 plays 30. 5 goals to Saunders. He was the early pace setter in terms of goals. Jai Bolton, 41 possessions now. It's a remarkable performance. He's been outstanding for Claremont throughout the season, and now has backed it up playing for WA, his adopted state. Darcy Cameron in the ruck. Had a couple of goes at it. They work hard again in the middle. Darcy Cameron wants to go on with it with one of the Tasmanians on the ground. It was Harper. WA get out. Oh, that's a sensational grab. Lockhart out of nowhere. Almost leapt over the top of Clint Jones. Marks and kicks in short to Foon. And then Foon with a long kick to the wing finds Harry Walters. He'd be in contention for Tasmania's medal today. Centering kick to Callanan, who's been good, a hand pass away. Gets it to his captain in Whitford, who kicks back to Lockhart in the centre. Lockhart will switch to this broadcast side. And Cleary marks on the wing. Just about every player on the ground in front of Cleary. One who is not is Lockhart again. Goes back to him. Oh, Lockhart's kick. Scrubbers all the way along the ground towards centre half forward, but it's a turnover. WA on the rebound. Riggio kicks to his Swans teammate in Knott. Short now. Strike goes with the 1-2, gets it back. Hand passes off to Kelly. He's got time and space to set it up. He doesn't blaze away. He kicks to Peake. It wasn't a great kick. Strike has followed up. Hand pass off to Saunders, and Saunders will kick 6. Oh, was that strategy from Kelly? He didn't want Peake to kick 7. He wanted Saunders to equal it up. 6 to Saunders, 6 to Peake. Even the rivalry between East Fremantle and South Fremantle continues in the state game, Mitzi. The margin is 114.
Yes, it certainly does. And great attack on the footy by Strike. Just really hit the footy hard and was able to get the ball inside forward 50. They had the numbers in there again. The pass from Kelly didn't hit Peake, as you said. Wanted Saunders to kick the goal. And Saunders, he's kicked a couple from free kicks, so he's got his 6 goals today. Really served WA well, as has Brett Peake. Don't have to get a lot of possessions as a forward, but if you make the most of those possessions, you've contributed to your side. Both those two, with 12 goals between them, really have been highlights for Western Australia in this massive victory they're going to have over a Tasmanian side that really has been outclassed today.
So 114 points now the margin in favour of WA. They win it out of the middle once again. Paul Johnson, he gets a clearing handball backwards to Luke Meadows, who swings around on the left boot. His kick in the direction of Kelly. He didn't really get a good run of it. Dropped the mark he should have taken, Dylan Riley, but now he clears with it for Tasmania. His kick to Harry Walters. They go along the line. Rainbird's marked. Rainbird's kick, he goes further down the line. Dodge has got a little bit of space out in front of him, but a great tackle applied. Ran down there by Marlon Pickett. Right on the boundary line there. Dodge had a bit of space. Looked like he could be running into a goal. but chased down well from behind by Marlon Pickett. Tasmania, though, rare chance for them inside 50. What can they do with it? Thorpe and Johnson in the ruck. Johnson wins it and he robes it as well. Then he slams it on his boot. Up and under, kicking towards the middle of the ground. Big fly from behind. Couldn't take the mark though, Saunders. WA, one-on-one. Brett Peake out in front. He's going for goal number 7. He takes a bounce and he's getting tackled. He still gets the snap away and kicks the goal. Brett Peake, goal number 7. He took a bounce while he was getting tackled.
I thought it was almost...
He hadn't enough time to get away with the kick though.
The Tasmanian coaches, they thought it was holding the ball.
I thought it was holding the ball too. But that doesn't matter now. It's another goal on the scoreboard. But yes, it almost looked like Brett Peake actually bounced the ball as he was tackled, and that would be normally would be a holding the ball decision. But what a great performance by the West Australian forwards. Outstanding performance, but really given so much supply by an outstanding midfield today. The ruck dominance of Johnson and Cameron has been outstanding. The midfield led by Jai Bolton have had plenty of the footy. And the cream on the cake has been in the forward line with both Peake and Saunders getting plenty of goals for Western Australia today. Great day for Western Australian footy again.
Well, the Tassie coaches just asked us if we have that rule over here. They certainly thought it was holding the ball. Normally is if you get tackled while you take a bounce, but not on this occasion. Nick Rodder takes a good mark in defence. Short pass finds strike and he kicks down the boundary line to Bolton. Yet another possession for Bolton. He's 43rd. He hand passes to his Tigers teammate in Neats. Kicks to half forward. Johnson, the meat in the sandwich, couldn't take the mark. Kelly paddles towards Hams. Hams a hand pass to Kitchen, and Kitchens will stab it in short and get it to Shane Nelson. He's had another very good day, and I think we've mentioned calling West Perth games. His lowest possessions for the season, Mitzi, 29. This will be his 30th possession here today.
Yeah, done a great job along with the rest of the midfield today, Shane Nelson.
Hasn't kicked a goal as yet. There's, I think, 8 goal kickers. Now Nelson from about 45 metres out. Oh, it's an awful looking kick off the boot. It wobbles its way left and it's a miss. So 23-13 WA, 151. Tasmania a 4-6-30. And WA are just 1 point off the record margin in WA Tasmania clashes.
Well, I'm getting a lot of texts, messages with a lot of advice on who should be the best player for Western Australia. What about Saunders? What about Cameron? What about Johnson? What about Bootsma? I mean, thanks very much to all those listening to 91.3 Sport FM today. But West Australia just totally dominant all over the ground.
Harper's got it in the defensive 50. He goes further backwards to Mott. He gets it to a teammate on the last line of defence in Nankervis. His kick away. Back to Harper. Harper puts Morrison under a bit of pressure. Handball backwards to Harper. Now they're in a world of trouble at Tasmania. Nelson on top of him. Calls for holding the ball. But we'll have a ball up. 40 metres out from WA's goal. Harper on the bottom of the pack. He's been working hard for Tasmania this afternoon, but they haven't had much at all go their way. Bolton from the stoppage. Clearing kick towards Cameron. Peaks down there at ground level as well. Pushed off of it. Tony Knott, great pick up. Then he lost it momentarily. Now it's in the hands of Ryan Neitz at the bottom of the pack. He's tackled though by Nankervis. We'll have another ball up. 20 metres out from WA goal.
121 the lead for the West. From this ball up, loose footy comes to Hams. He'll try to milk a free kick. No, he's brought to ground. That's a good tackle. Umpire quick with the whistle there. Whitford doing a good job in defence. There'll be a ball up. 25 out from the goals. Quite dark here at Stillblow Over. The lights are on, but they really don't do a whole lot here. Cox has it. He's tackled immediately. We'll see another ball up 30 metres out as Lee Kitchen tells everyone to spread out, get a bit of space around this ball up. Umpire Williamson will toss this in the air. Cameron wins it down straight to Bolton. He's tackled immediately, gets his knee to the ball somehow. Tasmania off half back. Heel though crashes through, takes possession, well tackled by Callanan, and once more the umpire blows his whistle quickly. And we'll ball it up right on the 50 for WA. We're winding down towards full time. 25 minutes gone in the final term. WA by 121.
Knott went up this time in the ruck, won it down. They go forward once again through Riggio to WA. Neitz takes the mark, 20 metres out from goal, but it looks like he's hurt his ankle in the process. As Ryan Neitz, just a little bit proppy on that right ankle.
Wants a goal though.
He certainly won't come off. Another player who certainly got better as the game's gone on. Ryan Neitz just runs hard all day. He's had over 20 possessions.
Kick 2 behinds this afternoon is Ryan Neitz, so he'd love a major next to his name. He's on a slide angle right of centre, 20 metres out from goal. Makes his way on in. The kick, he sneaks it in. So Ryan Neitz gets his first of the day. And WA now, they move to 24 goals 13, 157. Tasmania 4 goals 630. We're gone 26 minutes in this final term for Combined Metal Industries. That's all on the Kennard Sire scoreboard.
Well, a crushing performance by Western Australia today. They've just been outstanding. It's just repeating ourselves. They've just been too dominant. Their skill level has been so much higher than Tasmania. Tasmania have had a number of players that individually have done pretty well themselves, but as a unit they just haven't been able to match this classy West Australian side. As Neit's come off, he looks pretty proppy at the moment. Let's hope for his sake and Claremont's sake that he's not going to miss next week.
So the lead now 127. WA on record pace at the moment. Free kick paid in the middle of the ground against Tasmania. Umpires not the favourite people from the Tasmanian coaches. The free kick paid and Van Berlo kicks to the broadcast side wing. Nelson kicks to his West Perth teammate in black. He'll share it back with Nelson. They've done that for a number of years. Normally in the red and the blue. Nelson long to full forward. Cameron works his way to the front. He's disappointed not to take that one, and Tasmania can work it away, although Cox's kick is awful. And in comes Tony Knott to sneak in, and he can have a shot for his second goal. He's already got the one. He's one of 10 goal kickers for WA here this afternoon.
Big problem for Tasmania today is their ball use out of their back half. A number of times they've just tried to kick short and it's come unstuck, and Western Australia have punished them on the turnover.
Kick one from this exact same position at the 9-minute mark of this quarter. In fact, he might be probably 5 or 10 metres closer this time. And this time he actually pushes it away to the left. So behind for Tony Knott. He's a little disappointed with his effort this time. 128 points is the lead to WA. 24-14, 158 to 4-6-30. That's the Kennard Sire scoreboard. Very close to full time.
Yep, great performance. And Knott also has been another solid contributor for this side. Bolton again worked his way in.
Dangerous kick once again by Tasmania. Ends in the hands of Jai Bolton, who kicks a goal. He gets his second of the day. The cherry on the cake. He has just been superb this afternoon as Jai Bolton. He's had over 40 touches, a couple of goals to his name, and the whole WA midfield overall as well has just seen plenty of the footy this afternoon. They've been really, really good.
Well, the icing on the cake for Jai Bolton. But I don't know how many times I've seen in a state game a player getting, getting close to 50 possessions. Gives him a chance to be one of the better players for Western Australia today, is Jai Bolton.
You're not trying to give too much away there, Mitzi.
Well, there's been a number of very good players for Western Australia, Dave.
45 possessions,
number
12 marks
of very
and 2
good
goals.
Players.
WA this quarter have kicked 8 goals to nil. They've kicked the last 13 of the game. They went on a run of 10 consecutive, in fact 11 consecutive goals earlier. So out of their 25 goals, they've come in 2 patches. It's been total dominance from the Black Swans. As Tasmania working nicely out of the middle this time. Callanan chips in short, gets it to Hayden. Hayden goes wide, searching for Rainbird, who can mark about 60 metres out. He'll run to the 50-metre arc, sends it long on goal. It's a good-looking kick, but Stephen gets back. And on the last line of defence, the East Fremantle defender saves the day and then moves it on quickly with a kick to Black, a hand pass off to Rodder. He kicks to Cook, wants to draw the man, finds Hams by hand, and then Hams will chip in short, and Johnson needs to pick this one up at his bootlaces. Does all right, then slips over on some damp turf close to the boundary, gets a hand pass away. In comes Reynolds for Tasmania. His hand pass misses the target. Black at half forward, a hand pass to Jones, clever little knock on, gets it to Hams, off to Meadows. Meadows kicks to the dangerous spot, looking for Peake. He's in front, good spoil. The recovery of Peake is okay, but he overruns the football, and Arnold does well for Tasmania, can chip it short and finds a bit of safety where Mott can take the mark.
Mott, he looks to switch play to the outer side. He's got a teammate running hard out there in Dylan Riley. Dylan Riley goes for a bit of a run and he kicks further down the line in the direction of Thorpe. He can't collect it cleanly, back in play. Bootsma cleans up for WA to Rodder. Rodder inboard to Black, who slides in, takes the chest mark at centre half back. He moves it on in the hands of Riggio now. Riggio's clever kick Out wide to Hams. Hams to the run of Stephen. Stephen, he kicks inside 50, peeks down there, coming in from the side. Tim Kelly almost takes the mark. Now he punches it out to Clint Jones. Clint Jones, little dinky kick around the body. Brad Peak dropped the chest mark he should have taken. He's going for number 8. He's still got it, does Brad Peak, but he's strongly tackled by Reece Mobb. It's not coming out of there. We'll have a ball up in the right forward pocket for WA. Brad Peak, he had a big chance for number 8.
He certainly did. Clever little kick there by Jones under pressure, but just couldn't hold the mark, Peak.
Ball up from the boundary. Ball up. It was Jai Bolton snap at goal, and there's the full-time siren. So a massive win by WA in this state game against Tasmania. They win by 134 points, 25-14, 164 to Tasmania 4-6-30, and they were dominant from start to finish, Mitzi.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Jared. A great performance by Western Australia today. Completely outclassed the Tasmanian side. All hands are being, a lot of handshaking going on now between both sides. And look, a difficult task for the Tasmanian boys. They had to come over. They've had some real problems with weather over in Tasmania, with the flooding. They've had to come a long way to the west. They certainly at periods of time gave good account of themselves, but overall it was just, they were monstered by West Australia. The West Australian team led by a brilliant midfield. Jai Bolton, 45 possessions. Now that might just seem that he was getting a lot of uncontested possessions, but Bolton's game was outstanding for these reasons. He was an outstanding inside player, won a lot of stoppage work, a lot of where the congestion was taking place, and his quick hands were able to get it out to a release player. But not only was he winning the inside footy, his running to be a link man also saw him take 12 marks. And so that was a complete performance by him as a midfielder today. I thought it was one of the real top performances, and he would be very proud to be wearing the West Australian jumper today, because coming over from Victoria, representing Western Australia, his performance today was outstanding. Alongside him, I think the whole West Australian side really performed brilliantly. But if we're going to look at the individual players, Paul Johnson from the very first bounce showed that he was going to be leading from the front. He won the first tap and was a real contributor early in the game. In that first quarter, he set the standard for Western Australia. I thought he was very good. Along Darcy Cameron, he took over in the second quarter, took a lot of contested marks and really imposed himself on the game. All the midfielders performed well. Hams, Nelson, we mentioned Neats as the game wore on, Kitchen, Kelly, Jones, Cook. They all got plenty of the footy. Probably the quietest of them was Aaron Black, and he had 19 possessions. So you can see there was a dominant midfield there for Western Australia. Their defenders, led by Bootsma, led by Meadows, who really performed very well in his first state game. Boy, hasn't he turned around as a footballer since he's gone down back. A very astute move by Bill Monaghan this season to play Meadows down back, and his penetrating kicking was outstanding. And of course, when the ball went forward, they had two outstanding forwards in Saunders and Peak. Peak with 7 goals, Saunders with 6. They were really the cream on the cake for a West Australian side that was outstanding, dominant. There's not much more you can say about that performance, but they really were just too classy for their opposition. For Tasmania, let's give some credit to some players who really tried their hearts out, particularly in the first half. I thought Harry Walters really tried hard. His use of the ball was good. He kicks with penetration. I did like also Mott, a neat left footer who tried his heart out across the back line or across the middle. Callanan led from the front with 29 possessions. He used the ball well. Joby Harper was another one who got plenty of the footy. 34 possessions and 13 marks, so he can hold his head high. And also Whitford with 26 possessions. The co-captain tried hard in the midfield, as did Nick Walters. But really an outstanding performance by WA. Thoroughly deserved their comprehensive win against Tasmania today at Bassendean Oval.
Comments from Chris Mitsopoulos. Let's have a look at the stats. Jai Bolton finished with 45 possessions, 21 kicks, 24 hand passes. Also kicked a couple of goals, an outstanding performance. Shane Nelson had 32 touches, Hams 29, Meadows 26, Kitchen 26, Neats 25. While for Tasmania, Harper was their leader with 34 possessions. Cox had 33. Callanan 29 with a couple of goals. Walters, that's Harry Walters, 26, and Whitford 26 as well. We're going to see if we can pick up a bit of the audio here. Cam Napton from the WA Football Commission to be presenting the cup and also the Simpson medal.
We've got a chance to volunteers along with the umpires. You put your hand together with the umpire group back there. Thanks, guys. Congratulations to WA and condolences to Tasmania. But now I'd like to invite the captain of Tasmania, Taylor Windsor, to come forward and say a few words.
Firstly, at the top, thank the organisers today on. WA Park Rugby, fantastic work, and
also, I'd like to thank our medals and direct over the cycling by the training coach who have come forward to present the cycle of women to present the gold medal.
Firstly, Darren, the WA boys, obviously you are going to provide a T1 team in a long time, but you opportunities are going to play it, when you work for congratulations to you guys. To our boys, really good football lesson, as individuals and also in the competition, I've got all the work with it. So therefore, we'll try to carry the take off.
Contribution to the Simpson family football of Western Australia. To announce the present medal today, we go to the Football Commissioner, Larry Pickett, the former Watford player and both Exworth and Clement. Thanks, Matthew. I'd like to award the Simpson medal right there for the honours to the Bolton. Well done,
Really well done. Thank you all the support staff too, that really helped us out with that. We really thank them, all the coaches that put their hands up and volunteered. And the umpires around speaking today, also thank you for that for them. Thank you. Yes, on behalf of the all the competition rights, thanks for putting up the hosting it today. And we're finally all of us stay up with some additional presentations to the upstairs and social work, players and the upstairs that we come up in the middle. And until next year's time, I'll say thanks very much and continue to follow the ball.
I'm sure to be a very, very pleased Darren Harris as the WA coach this afternoon.
Well, that's part two, I think, Mitzi, of the trifecta that Darren Harris would want, because I reckon next year he'll be putting his hand up, wanting a big trip to Melbourne and see whether he can take on the Big V and take the biggest scalp in state football. Victoria on their home deck.
Absolutely.
That's a fantastic win for WA, but for yourself individually to win the Simpson medal, what does it mean to you?
It's good recognition. I was just trying to play my role for the team so we can get the best result and win today. So just playing my role in the midfield. I was a half forward at the start and just tried to do everything the coaches asked me to, and it's good to get that bonus, I suppose. Yeah.
It looked like a lot of fun out there to play with a lot of talented players. You won a lot of the footy as a team, and you seem to benefit from that.
Yeah, I love playing with some of the other top quality midfielders in the comp. Like Kitch and those sort of players. Like, it was really good to play with them. And then also I think playing with Darcy Cameron and who I get to play with every week. Again, he's such a good target down forward, and we had that extra with Peaky and Saunders. Saunders as well, so I think we had a really good team today. Yeah.
I know you enjoyed playing with Darcy and Mitch at Claremont as well as your ruckman, but Paul Johnson must have been a great captain and ruckman to play with today too.
Yeah, he's a really good leader, like in terms of trying to make sure we get up and we do the right things, and was talking all day in terms of making sure we do the right things around the stoppages and that sort of stuff. And obviously he's a great tap ruckman too, so put it down our throats all day, which gave us the best chance.
46 possessions in the end. Do you have any idea how much you're racking up when you're out there?
Not really. Just try and get in the right positions at the right time, so we can help the team to the best of my ability. Yeah.
And that was your interstate debut. You just missed out the VFL due to injury in the past. So
yeah.
Your first interstate game.
Yeah. Love the opportunity. It's a great honour to be able to represent a league and a state. So I was really grateful for the opportunity.
You seem to have just made the most of the move over here, and it seems to be perfectly suited to the way you play, and you just seem to be settling in perfectly to WA footy.
Yeah, I love the the big grounds and that sort of stuff, and the way the ball zings around. And it was even better today, like the highlights, I suppose, in terms of how well we hit the open player and just move the ball forward and our attacking sort of style of football. It was great to be a part of.
Kicking goals as well as winning longer footy, is that something that you try to make a focus of? I think you kicked 6 in your last 2 or 3 waffle games, and now you kicked a couple more today.
Yeah, I'll just try and get to the right spots at the right time. So if I'm needed to push down forward and try and create that option for teammates to hit me up, then I'll get to that position and try and finish off good play from my teammates further down the field.
Were you conscious of Brett Peake and Ben Saunders both hit a lot of goals today? There was talk of Brett getting 8 goals to sort of lead or match his whole team.
Yeah. He obviously presented really well all day. It's great. He gets good separation and really presents well to the foot. So it makes it a lot easier to try and put it out in front of him when you've got blokes like that leading up at you. Yeah.
You had guys like Shane Nelson and Jay Van Baarle and Aaron Black in the midfield with you today.
Yeah.
You've got to play against them next week. It's a bit strange.
Yeah. Well, it's just business as usual next week, mate. We'll try and get the win, try and get the 4 points. Won't be doing any favours, that's for sure.
So where to from the Claremont? You've sort of lost some games that you maybe should have won, but you still an outside chance to make the finals. Is that what you're aiming for the rest of the season?
Look, we're just going to honestly, we have to. I know it's a cliche, but we have to take it one game at a time. We actually do. Just make sure we try and fix the things that we've been not poor at, but have been a little bit off. And as long as we can increase and keep getting better in those areas, then I think we should see some better results in the back half of the season.
And would this be a career highlight for you? Sorry, Chris. Overall.
Of course, yeah. Any chance you get to represent any sort of league or state or anything like that, it's a great honour. So to have to be up there with one of the highlights of my career for sure.
Played in any premierships at Werribee?
I haven't, no. We've played in a few prelims and that sort of stuff, and just missed out. So obviously that's probably my main goal, is trying to win a premiership. Whether that's achievable with Claremont at the moment, we're not sure, but we think we've got a pretty good list. It could cause some damage if we can make it in the finals, but again, we're not looking that far ahead of ourselves at the moment.
AFL, are you thinking that at all?
I'd love the opportunity to be able to go to another higher level. I think you should always try and play highest level you can for as long as you can. So if that opportunity came, it would just be a bonus of me playing my role for the team. So yeah. Games
like today could only improve your chances, surely.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure. Hopefully, I don't know if they're looking at that or what they're doing.
Did you think playing in the waffle would help your cause though? And obviously it's worked out pretty well so far.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be a bit of a change, and I'm 24. I think I've still got a fair bit to offer. I think I've got a lot of development left in my game as well. So if I went into a full-time environment, I think I could improve a lot of my game. So I'd love the opportunity to. Yeah.
For the whole 4 quarters.
Yeah, look, really happy with their performance. You're always nervous before a state game. The best players from each state get out there, so you never take anything for granted. But we knew with the quality of players we have that if we had an even performance, we believed we'd get the job done. And I thought today everyone had a chance in the middle and on the outside, and we even had an even amount of game time for every player, and they all contributed. It's brilliant.
Starts in the middle, and your ruckman and captain Paul Johnson was outstanding. Then Jai Bolton and Shane Nelson, they just led the way. Yeah,
look, Jono was outstanding. He just buys into state footy. He just wants to play it, and he got out there. The way, we watched him kick a goal at one end, the ball went to the other, and he was the one on the line trying to stop it. So that's the sort of effort he gives. And I thought Darcy Cameron's effort in the ruck when he was in there pinch hitting was excellent as well. So definitely gives the inside mids a real great opportunity. And I've got no doubt Jai Bolton and Kitchen and Hams and all these fellas that were in there. Jay Van Burlo was excellent. Just gave them great supply.
How do you sell it to players that you might only have to play 50% inside or 50% on ball, when these blokes are pretty ambitious, aren't they? And they're the best of the best, so they want to show they're that good.
Yeah. Look, I think when you look around at every player, they're all quality. So you can't expect to be selfish in a stateside. You all play your role. And I think, too, the coaches and leaders within the group set that scene pretty quickly. That you'll all get your opportunity, but it will be a shared opportunity. It's not about you in state footy, it's about the state. So they embrace that.
After Brett Peake got his 7th, was that a message from you to try to isolate him deep, or did he do that himself?
I didn't know, but John Dimmer had already tried to isolate him to make sure he... and I don't know whether you could hear us, but we were barracking late when he dropped that mark. We thought he was an opportunity to kick his 8th goal. We were hoping he got some bragging rights, but no, he played a great game today and really embraced state footy and was a great leader in amongst the group. Just really wanted to play for his state, which all the players did.
You see young guys like Tim Kelly and Darcy Cameron and Luke Meadows who want to really desperately play for their state, but someone like Brett Peake embraces it just as much as anybody.
Yeah, we had both ends of the spectrum, so I think it was his first game, and then you got, like I said, Darcy Cameron before, his contribution was excellent. He really competed. He deserves a chance at the next level, I'd think, based on what I've seen. Tim Kelly has just been an outstanding waffle player for a few years, and there's another bloke that I really think is draftable. He just has a lot of qualities that are elite. And Luke Meadows, his strength, he's a lot bigger than you think he is. He kicks the ball outstandingly well. He's had 26 touches off half back today. State game, and as the game went on, just looked more and more comfortable. So you're right, there was the good blend of experienced and newer players that really all played well.
Would you imagine Jai Bolton would get another shot at the AFL after that?
I'm not sure, but if you look at a bloke that wins as much inside ball as he does, and works so hard and finds it, that 45 touches, 2 goals, and he's been consistent like that all year. So, look, at AFL level, if you've got a bloke like that who's sitting on a rookie list or as a top up, it's a pretty quality top up. So you wouldn't say no.
You've been very strong on state footy, particularly this week. You've sold it pretty hard. What is winning? You won by 20 plus goals today, though. So, in some ways, it's one-way traffic. Is state football still the be-all and end-all, though, even with a result like that?
No doubt. Like you've been, I don't know whether you've been in the room there and you've watched the players sitting around together, but they are genuinely enjoying each other's company. The best come together, and I've got no doubt they go back to their clubs and they become quality players for their clubs on the back of state footy as well. They get to mingle with the players and train with them and play with them. State footy is not about us, it's about a state. You represent a competition, and it's an Australian-wide competition, and that's 4 in a row for the state, which makes us the best. So we take that responsibility really seriously. We turned up prepared as well as we could for what Tasmania are going to give us, and we were at our best today and got the result. That's all we can control. So again, it's a great honour to be involved in it, but we know the responsibility that comes with it.
There's been interesting comments that you've talked about this week coming out of Victoria about only wanting to play South Australia. Does this send a message that I think you'll get a chance to play them in Melbourne next year, that WA deserves to be in that discussion?
I don't think that anyone's going to change the fact that the 3 football states, Victoria, South Australia and Western Australia, deserve to play each other every second year, and I hope that continues, because at the moment we've been able to beat Victoria and we've been able to beat South Australia, and we'll go over to Victoria next year, and I'm sure with the buy-in to state footy that we'll go over there and have another great crack at it. Imagine going over there and winning 5 in a row. It would stand us apart from the rest of the nation.
You'll put your hand up to coach that team again as well?
No, I think the rules are that the coach who coaches the grand final side will be offered it. I've been fortunate enough that 2 years in a row, coaches that have been offered it have knocked it back, and I've been the lucky recipient of it. So I'm sure it'll be the same, and if it came around again and I had the time, I'd probably put my hand up, because it's been absolutely enjoyable.
I mean, you did mention the other day that the previous time that the Premiership coach wasn't offered it might have been in 2004. I mean, there's a case to be made that because of the role and the fact that club footy is now so big and so time-consuming and all-consuming, that there's a very strong case to be made for an independent.
I just believe the waffle competition is a development competition as well. We've been able to get some experienced coaches, but some young ones in, Mark Foster, Matty Gordon, and blokes that want to go to the next level as coaches. So if the coach who's coaching a premiership side wants to coach it, then it's a fantastic opportunity for them to develop. So I won't begrudge that.